Welcome once again to a special live stream of the Hard Rock Show. Apologies for being a little bit late this time around. It's my fault. Had a few things go a bit pear-shaped, but we're here now. So I'm Andrew.
Tim.
I'm Dave.
We've got a lot to get through as always. So we're going to be reviewing the latest from Nazareth, Semblant and Fangz, as well as revisit a classic from Metallica. We're going to premiere for the first time ever on the show the latest single from Avalanche, but we're also going to talk about new singles from Head of Clay, Thundermother, Global Metalists, United, and Kirk, Hammett. We'll have a discussion on some bad behaviour that's been going on lately as well. We'll do a classic battle between Maiden and British Steel, little 1v1 album battle there. We'll have everything else going on as always, so get involved in the comments as we go through. Looking forward to everyone's little bits and pieces to add to the conversation. So make sure you give us your thoughts as we go along. Say hi, just drop a line. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the usual things as well. So to do that, details are in the description box of the episode. You know what to do. Find your preferred social and jump in on it. If you're over in Adelaide or want to watch on, we've got an episode 11 o'clock tonight on Channel 44 in Adelaide tonight. So if we're still here, we'll get to it. But if we're not, 11 o'clock Adelaide time tonight is our episode on Channel 44 Adelaide. That's about 3-piece bands tonight, just as a quick little plug there for that as well. But of course, a big thank you to our fantastic sponsors in Squitting, Scrimping, Old Cult and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description box. So give them a like, a follow, a share, all that usual stuff as well. And if you want to help us yourself, then check out our Patreon page. The information for that is in the description box also. All right, I think that's all the usual nonsense out of the way. Dean's here with us tonight saying, hey, lads, hope all is well. Dave rocking the beanie, so there we go. I did say
Even
that.
more, mate.
I'm the other one with the headwear on today, which is remarkable. Michael is here saying, hey, all, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us once again. Sally, hello, guys. Good to see you again as well as always. And same for Nudes. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're keeping well over there in Adelaide, so you'll be able to watch the TV show in a few hours as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, hopefully we'll be wrapped by then. But before we do, here we go. Keith's here. Yo, fellas, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. You're part of the inspiration for the conversation.
It's a good show last week too from Keith.
Very cool. We'll get to a special little event we're doing for the first time tonight in just a moment. But Tim, let's go to you first. How are you going this week?
I'm good. Played a gig last week. Avoided getting COVID, which is a Russian roulette playing gigs at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. It's been fun. Getting back and doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're vibing on that at the moment? You're like you because you were enjoying the hermit life. You're vibing, being more into.
Well, I'm still being a hermit. That's the beauty of it. I mean. Orange have this wonderful thing going on where we can play gigs without actually rehearsing.
Yeah.
So that's the wonderful thing when you do Nirvana covers.
Yeah. Well.
You can play your own songs and you can play Breed.
Yeah, that'll work. That's not too hard, eh?
No.
Alrighty, Dave. How about you? How you going this week?
Yeah, I'm good. We had the 4-day weekend, Easter holiday, so we did the whole, crucifixion day and zombie resurrection day. Eat chocolate and watch movies. So yeah, it was fun. But kids are still on school holidays. Yeah. So Jade had a sleepover at their best friends last night, and Rory went to the dentist. So I think Jade had more fun. But yeah, Rory was a bit nervous to start with, but he's got no feelings. He enjoyed it. He thought the suction thing was funny. So he's like, when can I go to the dentist again? We've also got
famous last words. I'll tell you that right now. Rory, this one, you won't like.
If he keeps brushing, he'll be good. But yeah, I used to like going to the dentist when I was a teenager because the dentist always hired nurses with, how do you say?
Yes.
Yeah. So as a teenage boy, I was just like, yep, suction, more and more of it. Thank you. But yeah, apart from that, after the dentist, we went to Guzman and Gomez for tea. And yeah, I had to wait for my beer. Yeah, they only had kids behind the counter. They not over 18, so they can't physically hand you a beer. They can take your money. But waitress came over, bought the food. I'm like, yeah, I wanted the beer as well. She's like, okay, I'll go get it. So we're eating, waiting and waiting. People walking past, hey, I wanted the beer. No. And eventually finished the burrito. Go up to the counter. Hey, I'm still waiting for that beer. Like, oh, I'll get the manager. Probably the only person in the whole store is over 18.
Wow.
And they're probably talking about me behind the counter. Like, that alcoholic boomer in the corner wants his beer. I don't know what retail's like. They're talking about the customers that keep asking for shit.
Yeah,
so.
they do.
But yeah, eventually I got my beer and I was happy. So
Yeah, you can't go wrong with GYG.
Yeah,
exactly. Eventually,
burritos and beers.
but that, all good.
Cool.
Kids have a few more days and they're back at school, so life resumes to crazy hectic times.
Yep.
Yourself, Andrew?
Yeah, same old. Everything's good. I'm still managing to avoid COVID. Behind the scenes, we've had it go through a fair few of us now behind the scenes, but still managed to. It's like, the running the gauntlet, seeing who can sort of outlast the longest kind of thing. I'm still in it. Haven't got it yet. So famous last words. I'm knocking on wood as I say this one. I don't know how I didn't get it through the day job recently, but no, it's a fucking minor miracle. So I should have bought a lottery ticket at the same time, but yeah, that's all good. But other than that, just busy all around between work and doing this and the usual family stuff. Everything's good. Nothing to complain about. Got a few things coming up this weekend. Got a special little lunch tomorrow, which I'm going to go to at the MCG, which is going to be cool.
Cool.
It's all courtesy of Jody's work, so I'm going as a guest. I get to, go there and have drinks and get fed, and that's okay. So, and the Hard Rock Show turned 11 yesterday. So that was a thing too. So it's that time of year where we get sort of a bit sort of reminiscent and a bit sort of celebratory at the same time. So happy birthday to us. Cheers for all the good work to everyone and for sticking with us. And here we go. Let's do another year. So that's basically where we're at the moment. All right, what do we got here? So Dean's looking forward to the Avalanche single. That is coming up in just a moment. That is first cab off the rank tonight. Nicole saying hello. Good to see you over there on YouTube again, as always. Same with Rowan. Good to see you here as well. Ryan is here saying, this is sick, keen for a hectic stream. Mate, you have no idea what you're in for. Good to see you joining us tonight. Keith's going, cheers, Tim. You fellas killed it, so there you go. And Avalanche saying, hey, legends, so keen. I'm sure you are. And thank you for sharing this little thing with us tonight, too. It's going to be a first for us, and this is going to be cool. Helen, good to see you. Hi, chaps. Good to see you after hiatus. Yes, it has been a little while for you, but I'm glad to have you back. And Andrew Marshall, as always. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Good to see you again, too. Helen's going, yep, outrun the bastard, talking about the COVID shit. And then, Keith's going, 11. Holy shit. Yeah, we've been at this for 11. We're officially now into our 12th year. So work that out. Actually, in a few months, it'll be the 10th anniversary of being on television as well. So that's coming up fast and furious, too. Bella's going, hi guys, happy birthday to Hard Rock Show. Good to see you again, Belle. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Dean is here saying, can't believe 11 years of the show. Bloody hell, having a beer for it. So well done. Enjoy it. Drinks all around. Have some fun. Let's get into some other stuff. But I suppose it's kind of fitting to do something new for our first stream since our birthday, I guess. So let's get into it. This is a premiere. This is unavailable anywhere else right now, except if you're watching us and you're going to check out this link. So it's in the description box. It's in the comments. Make sure you check it out. This is the hot new video and single from Sydney band Avalanche called Bottle of Sin. Getting stuck straight into this one now because, Tim, you lined it up. We'll get to you in a moment, but we are proud as all fuck to premiere this one before it's official release tomorrow. The video is now live for everyone tuning in, so hit it in the comments and in the description box. Avalanche Bottle of Sin is what you're going to go and check out. From the band, this is a statement from the band about this one. We had the honor of working with Grammy-nominated and ARIA award-winning producer Steve James on this track at A Sharp Recording Studio, who's produced so many bands we admire, from Sex Pistols to Airborne, the Screaming Jets, the Angels, Cold Chisel, Hawkwind, the Soup Jesus, Mentalist, anything, and even Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Monty Python's Life of Brian. The band are on tour coming up in May and June, so if you like this, make sure you go and see them live as well. So, Tim, this all came about because of you and your friendship with the band, so give us the good word and give us your thoughts.
Well, these guys are a wonderful band. I actually first met these guys. I played with Arcane Saints a few years back, and they just blew us away. They were honestly one of the best live bands we've seen kicking around.
Cool.
And see, they're still there, and they've just gotten better and better. Only getting better. They're still very young as well. So, bright future ahead for these guys. And this track is an absolute killer track for anybody who, honestly, if you're anybody who's a fan of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
It is just that straight up balls to the wall hard rock. If you're a fan of anything from, as they said, they listed a huge list of bands that we all know and love. I would call them, AC/DC meets the Lazies with a little bit of, early Rolling Stones thrown in.
Yeah.
They are just a cracking band, and they're fantastic live too. And this song does them quite a bit of justice. So I would recommend that everybody go check out that song now. Take a few minutes away from us. We don't mind.
We'll be here.
We'll be here talking shit all night. So spend a few minutes checking out this track from Avalanche because it's well worth your time, and they're an absolute cracking band. And check out their other stuff too. Check out the tour what's coming up, and congratulations, guys, on the new song. Congratulations on the recording, and all the best for the near future.
Yes, I liked the. Oh, Dave, just give me a second. I like the Lazies comp. That's a good one there, Tim. But also, we'll also try and give this one a bit of a spin on the TV broadcast for both Melbourne and Adelaide in the near future as well, guys. Just as a heads up for you on that one too. But Dave, give us your thoughts on the track.
Yeah, it's my first time hearing this band, and they're certainly up my alley. If you like AC/DC and Airborne, then from that you're gonna know what the guitar tone sounds like at least. But yeah, as Tim said, hard rock, Aussie pub rock, it's all good. The singer's voice is amazing. He's certainly got the ballsy hard rock belted out, the type of singing I like. Great hook in the main riff. The video is really cool too. If you like a drop of Jack Daniels, it's certainly going to make you thirsty. I thought putting the camera on the Jack Daniels was very cool.
Oh, nice. Was there anything else you wanted to add in there, Dave, or was that?
That's pretty much it. Cool track. Listen to it. Good band.
Yeah, cool. Well done to the band. This is filmed at Frankie's Pizza by the Slice, in case you can't tell. And that whole setting of this being in the live bar kind of thing just suits the vibe of the song perfectly well. I loved the drink cam idea on this one too, where they got the camera attached to the bottle as it's going up and down. That was a very neat trick. Well done. It's been referenced for if you like your Aussie pub rock, but all those bands they listed off before. So things like Jets, Angels, Cold Chisel, Super Jesus, Airborne, AC/DC, that kind of stuff. If you like anything in that wheelhouse at all, which is pretty much if you found this thing called the Hard Rock Show and you like the idea, this is a song definitely for you. What I like about this song in particular, though, is there's some nice little use of time changes. The rhythm section is really cool with this song. And there's some great lead work with that. I think Dave mentioned the tone that you expect from that style of music too, and this definitely has that, and that it just cuts through really nicely. But I love the riff, the main riff, and also the rumble in the bass was really cool in this one too. There's great attitude in the vocals. It's got that blend of melody and party, which is done really, really nicely. It's a good balance of striking. I've done it well here too. So, it's one of those songs where it doesn't need to break new ground to be a fucking good song. It's one of those things that does exactly what it's supposed to do. It gets you amped up, and it's one of those ones that's perfect for a party tune. This song would be fantastic live, I reckon. This would get the room going pretty bloody quickly. So, well done all round to the band on this one, and thank you again for allowing us to sort of launch it or premiere it or whatever term you want to call it as for everyone here. We can't play these things inside the stream for obvious reasons. We'll get the video blocked and we'll be whatever, it'll be shit show. But please do check it out. We all fucking love it. We don't talk about these things prior to. We knew it was coming, but we don't actually give our thoughts. So to have all three of us here unanimously enjoy it without any sort of pre-talk on it is a nice little touch. We're off to a better start than last time around, Tim. He just launched straight into it.
Last week there was some burials.
Yeah, last week was a bit different. I'm waiting for this week's SBS comp. But no, this is a great track from Avalanche. So well done. Check it out. Avalanche Bottle of Sin. It's out now. The video is. It's in the comments in the description box. But also please do make sure you check out the official single will be released tomorrow and all that sort of stuff as well. So well done all round on that one. I think we've hit a winner. Let's see what the audience say about this one too. Let's get back up some comments. Dean says, seeing them at Cherry in June, looking forward to it, and the single, very, very nice. Avalanche is saying, thank you guys so much. Woohoo, that you are more than welcome. Thank you for allowing us to this night. Something different. We haven't done it before. Hopefully we've done you proud there. Michael says, saw them at Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar not long ago. They were great live. So there we go. More backup on that one. Bash is here. Good to see you. He's going, hi, guys. Congratulations on your 11 years of the Hard Rock Show. Finally, a show that's devoted to fans of hard rock and metal. Keep up the great work. Thank you for the kind words and for sticking with us and for your support as well. Roy, good to see you, buddy. He's gone Killer Tune by the Avalanche. So there we go. Another regular here as well. Andrew, loving the Avalanche song and the video clip. Reminds me of the days I used to go out with a hip flask of 101 proof wild turkey in my pocket. That's cool. Nice one.
That's it, man. That's that kind of song.
It is. It's definitely that kind of song. Darren says, yep, awesome. So we're getting a lot of love for it as well. Here we go. Sally's going, very cool vocalist is killer with good hair. Yes, yeah. That's there as
Excellent
well.
Hair.
Excellent hair. Gear, he's here. Hello from Norway and Viking Queen. We hope you like the new song for Ukraine. We are united. We are getting to that in just a little bit. So give us a few more minutes and we'll get to that as well. Dean is saying, got their second EP, their second-hand band EP, sorry, and it's fucking fantastic. If you haven't checked that out, then do so. All right, and Helen says, I think you've covered it all, chaps. Great pub band, energetic, and and best live. There we go. Red, Ian Campbell, new face on Facebook. Good to see you. Avalanche Rock. So there we go. Getting a lot of love for this band and the single. Cool. Make sure you do go and check it out if you haven't done so already. We're going to be here for hours, so you may as well go and check it out now while you can. The link is in the comments. It's also in the description box. That is the new single from Avalanche, which is called Bottle of Sin. Get around it. Give it some support. The official release is tomorrow, but you can check it out now if you can. All righty. Let's mosey on back up to what I put at the top of things, and let's go to the latest from Melbourne band now. Another new single from Melbourne band Head of Clay, which is a band we've covered on the show a couple of times now with their singles. So in the description box, in the comments, is Head of Clay with Until Tomorrow. That is the new single from this band. It's only pretty new. They sent it in to us as well. So the latest single from Melbourne band. This song explores the risks individuals take when trying to expose criminal or unethical activity. Self-produced by the band, rather. And so thanks to them for also sending it in and making sure we are all over it. So it's a bit of a gear change, but Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, I like this. I've never heard this band before, but put it on and just like, yeah, this is cool. The song moves along at a moderate pace, and it's got a really good swing to it. Something you can tap your foot or nod your head along to. Yep. Repeat listen to just drag that type of music, just drags you into what the singer's talking about. It's a bit of a blues feel, but it doesn't fall into the trap of something that you've heard before. Just got that feel, which I thought was cool. And of course, the one thing that always stands out for me is the solo. Guitar solo was very cool. Yeah, so had to mention that. But yeah, this is a cool song. And first time I heard this band, so I got to check out more from them.
Okay, cool. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, it's got that like sort of blues, classic rock feel to it without sounding rehashed. Yeah, which is a very clever trick to it. I think a lot of that's done with the tones. Very crisp guitar tone that I quite liked. Made it a very easy song to listen to from start to finish. I thought it built up well. I thought the nice little repeating line at the outro was quite nice as well. So I thought it was a very, very good, well put together song. Yeah, it's good. It's a good release.
Cool. It's been covered. This is more of a mid-pace kind of a song, but it's got that blues touch, which you guys have mentioned there too, but also like the emotive depth in it too. There's a neat hook in the chorus, probably a bit more of a hook than you might expect from the way we're talking about it. And yeah, like Tim mentioned, the way it builds, that the swell toward the conclusion of this song is really nicely done. It's really well composed. Like Dave said, I agree. There's some nice guitar work in this. I like the tones overall. It's got a good mix to it. So for a self-produced song, this sounds fucking fantastic. Great little solo. Some nice lead work in this one. The punch in the drums, I thought, was the thing that really sort of pushed this song along nicely. And that was a nice little standout. I liked the way that was mixed in and the way it was done there. When a song's got something to say, that's something I always appreciate in music, and this one has that and then some. But if you don't mind something that's a bit more sort of mid-paced, but it's still got plenty of bite in it, but it goes, it's offset with a bit of heart and emotion as well, then this was one for you to check out. It's definitely got that toe-tapping kind of feel. It's more infectious than you might think. You'll be tapping or nodding along to this one pretty bloody quickly. So yeah, and I like the video too. It's a neat little performance video. Nicely done there as well. So well done all around again to Head of Clay. We've had them a couple of times on the TV stuff. I think we might have discussed them once on a stream before, but yeah, very, very cool stuff. Well done again. These guys don't release a bad song, I don't think. So keen to hear more in the future. So thanks again to them for sending it through. And whenever you've got another one, then yeah, let us know. We'll check it out. Alrighty, got some comments coming through. Okay, cool. Gear is saying the music premieres tomorrow. We are united. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. That's cool. Because for now, I've only got the Spotify link on that one when it comes to the Metal United later on. Alrighty, so next single we're going to talk about, we're going to change the gears as always. We're going to jump over to the latest from Thundermother. This one's a couple of weeks old now. We haven't discussed it yet. So this is Thundermother with Watch Out. It's in the description box. It's in the comments as well now if you're checking it out. So that's what you can do there. So Thundermother, Watch Out is the new one now. So this is the first single from the upcoming Black and Gold album, which is due on September 23, 2022. This single, like I said, was released a couple of weeks ago, but we've enjoyed this band a bit over the years. So let's see how this one goes this time around. Tim, let's start with you.
What a name for a band.
Yeah.
Thundermother.
Yeah.
Well, this is surprisingly great.
Yeah.
You know, like it does have. You know, at first, I mean, it's a throwback '80s hard rock song, but I thought that Watch Out hook in the chorus, for whatever reason, just the way they played it was so infectious. It just grew on me.
Yeah.
And again, they're not reinventing the wheel or anything. It's you know, it's sort of the sort of thing you heard before, but I don't know. There's just something about this song that I just like.
Cool. Yeah.
And I can't explain it. It's just a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just easy to listen to. And it's easy to repeat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Dave, you?
Yeah, this is cool. It's a high energy rock song. If you like music that rocks like a thunder motherfucker, then you're gonna like it. I had to do that. I just had to. Yeah, this is cool. This is old school rock and roll the way it should be done. Great hook in the chorus, as Tim mentioned. The vocals are really good. Certainly a powerful rock voice. The drums really stand out for me on this track. And I haven't heard everything this band has done, but every song I have heard, the drums really punch through. Certainly got a good drummer. Yeah, I liked how they closed the song with that whispered "Watch out, motherfucker."
Yeah, that was
a very cool bit of rock attitude. Just a fun way to watch it. Makes you want to listen to it again too. So it's just crank it out over and over. Going to go on the barbecue playlist.
Nice. Look, if you know the band, you know what you're in for. This picks up right where they left off after their 2020 album Heatwave. It's riff-driven hard rock. It's got a great hook. It's got a really cool solo in this one as well. I did enjoy the one. And the video was well done too. A bit of pyro and a bit of fun in the video, and the way it sort of had a little bit of a rough and ready kind of story to tell was kind of cool as well. Loads of energy, and I think that's part of the infectious, captivating nature of this song. It's just the energy on it is just so... Yeah, it just gets under your skin and makes you want to move. It's one of those songs that it just does that. Again, they're not reinventing the wheel, but if you between the song and the video, if you like hard rock at all, this is one you got to check out. It's just one of those ones where, I'm keen for the album, bring it on, and this is just a great, solid hard rock tune that is, energetic and has a great hook to go with it. So check it out. If you like rock at all, get onto it. It's another one. All right, comments coming through quickly. Darren, going back to Head of Clay for a second. Darren's going, I like this. Got that strutting down the street vibe. That's cool. Nice. Roy said, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, very true. Roy says, sounds like they'd fit in on the Blues Fest lineup. That's another good way to put it as well. Nice. Andrew says, Head of Clay, another winner. Cool. And Dean says, love this track and video. Now we're on to Thundermother, I believe. So love this track and video. High energy rock and roll track. Got their previous albums, and this lineup kicks ass. Album coming soon. The album was done in 10 days. Well, there you go. Thank you for sharing the news there on that one. But Dean's gone, this should be all over the world right now. Okay, so Helen's gone back to Head of Clay. Melodic, and there's definitely a shitload of miles of talent. Another band to see live. Awesome. Bella's going, great vocals. And there we go. Darren says 3 for 3 tonight. Give me some Thundermother. There we go. Going around. Dean says Gwenica's vocals are on fire. Sally says still sound great. Love this band. Cool video too. Basher says Thundermother is a great hard rock band. This is fast and rocking. There we go. Andrew Marshall says Thundermother makes it 3 from 3 tonight. And also Helen, Thundermother, great vocalist with a typical girl stoicism and going hard as fuck. Nice. Okay, we're getting a lot of love for a lot of songs tonight. This is going to be cool. This one's a bit trickier to share, unfortunately. There is a video coming out tomorrow, but we'll get into it now because we have got it on the run sheet.
Here in Australia, we are ahead of the rest of the world.
Yes, we are.
On release dates.
Yes, we are. It's very cool. Unfortunately, yeah, it's a bit harder to share. This one's been a Spotify link. But quickly before I do, Dean says I signed with Your Mate Bookings just before COVID as well. Is that that's got to be Head of Clay? Is that Head of Clay or is that Thundermother? Surely Head of Clay. Let us know, Dean. I'm curious about that. Roy says I would have seen Thundermother in August, but they just cancelled the UK tour in favour of a US tour. Okay, wow, there you go. I didn't know that. Well, there you go. I know we got a lot of love for Thundermother. Let's move on to the next one now, which
Maybe
is
there's more thunder in the US. I don't know.
Yeah, well, going to the Tornado Alley. That'd be a good place.
Yeah,
to do it.
you never know that.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's a random question. DB, does Tim like 7-Up? There we go.
7-Up.
Yeah,
the drink.
7-Up. Yeah, the drink.
It's no Mountain Dew.
It's there we go. All right, so in the comments, in the description box is there as well. This is a Spotify link to check out. This is the group is called Global Metalists United. The song is called We Are United. This is a multinational fundraising song for Red Cross and Ukraine. More than a dozen musicians involved with this. Those artists are coming from Canada, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, India, and Germany. As we've seen, Gear is here tonight. I hope I pronounced your name correctly there. But from Viking Queen, he was one of the ones included in this little project. So this is a big charity thing. Every spin from this gets some money towards the Red Cross and helping out in Ukraine. So, Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, this is great. It's an old school traditional metal with a punchy chorus that you can sing along to. I can imagine this in the festival with a whole field full of metalheads just singing along. It's easily infectious. Yep. Yeah, I always gravitate towards the guitar solos, and I just love all the guest musicians coming in, and one person finishes, the next one overlaps, and it just goes on and on. Well, that was really cool. But yeah, if you like your metal, it's for a good cause. But yeah, it's definitely a song to enjoy, especially if you like guitar solos.
Yeah, that is a standout. But Tim, what about you?
As Dave said, I think it's a great track, but the standout is obviously the guitar solo in the middle. Yeah, really, it really just kicks ass, and the chorus is stupidly infectious as well. So overall, you're sitting on a winner here.
Yeah, nice. This is got everything you want out of a big metal anthem that's, designed for a charity kind of thing. It's got that chorus with that hook that is going to get in your head. And it's got, I don't want to make this sound, it's not a negative. It's got just that right touch of cheese to it, if that makes sense. Like just that slight little bit of corniness about it all, which I think is endearing when it comes to these kind of things. One of those ones you look back on with a smile on your face. It's always a good time when it comes to this kind of a song. It's a metal anthem. It's got some great lyrics. That it's got all the whole thing about being united and all that kind of stuff. And
it's got a touch of Scorpions about it.
Yeah, it does have a bit of that about it. Actually, that's not a bad comparison. Yeah, that's a good call, Tim. Like you said, both of you, the solos are definitely the standout for me. You got some cool riffs on this one too. I like the metal choir impact of all the vocalists as well. That was a nice little touch on this one too. The amount of solos though, the amount of shred in this song. You guys remember when Dennis had the Legions of Steel, like Legions of Shred track that he did to promote Legions of Steel? It reminds me of that. There's just wall-to-wall guitar solos, which is fucking cool. So if you like guitar solos, this is a song for you for sure. Again, it does everything it's supposed to do for this kind of stuff. So give it a spin, check it out, and hopefully you have some fun with it because it's a good little track and it's all going to a good cause. So check it out. And the video is out tomorrow, and we'll try and keep you up to date with that as we go through it. All right, cool. Sorry, Dean's confirmed it was Thundermother they signed with Your Mate Bookings. Okay, cool. Wow.
Nice
signing. David, good to see you. He's gone, sounds like We're Stars. So there we go.
Damn right.
Yes, that's a fair one there. All righty. One more single, and then we'll get into some more meat on the bone discussion-wise. Next single is the latest from Kirk Hammett. It says High Plains Drifter. It's in the description box. It's in the comments, so make sure you check it out. Kirk Hammett, High Plains Drifter. That is the next one we're going to discuss. This is the first taste from his EP Portals, which is actually due out tomorrow. So if you enjoy the single, this is going to be out tomorrow in full to check out. And it's his first jump into solo artist territory as far as I'm aware as well. But Tim, I'm pretty sure I know Dave loves this one, but how'd you go?
Now, I can't be the only person who's not disappointed that it's not just Enter Sandman with more wah pedal.
Oh no, man! I'm glad this is done the way it is. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm bitterly disappointed.
are you? Wow.
Well, where's the wah pedal, first of all?
Yeah.
It's like when you watch James Hetfield sing a Beatles song and he actually sings it and just doesn't yell yeah over it. And I'm not going to say, like, there's that bit in the middle where he rips off his own song.
But you are.
But let's just say there's a riff that should not be there. I think you know the bit I'm talking about.
Well played. Well played. I'll play that. I'll play that. That's good.
Now that I've said that, you'll never unhear it.
Oh, I know.
And then you'll just go put on Master of Puppets because it's better.
Okay.
I didn't know that the Kirk Hammett EP was just going to be the B-side to the Wadruna album that's coming out tomorrow.
Oh.
But hey, like, more power to him. Like I said, I'm just disappointed there's not more wah.
Okay. I don't know how many people are wanting more wah, but Tim, your complaint is duly noted. Let's see.
It would have sounded like Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, that's true. I will pay that.
This is like the opposite of the Lulu EP. The Lulu album, the whole album, you're like, where's Kirk? And this album is like, oh, it's too much Kirk.
So you want somewhere in the middle, do you?
Ideally, like, yes. That's what makes Metallica so good.
Yeah, okay. Fair point. All right, let's get Tim off the hook. Dave, how'd you go?
Okay. I actually wrote this. I'm not having to dig, Tim. Okay. There's no wah in the solos, which is a shame because the metal elitists won't be able to make their unfunny comments in the blabbermouth comment section.
This is almost because you pre-recorded segment last week.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there are people who are disappointed because they can't tell their stupid jokes anymore. You know, as far as the solo goes, I thought it dated back to Ride the Lightning, where he wasn't like dominated by the wah pedal back there. It really had that old Call Cthulhu vibe. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song, cool. I'm really looking forward to the EP based on this. Now, the title itself put me in the frame of a Western, if you know that old Clint Eastwood movie. Yeah, so that set the scene. And then the acoustic guitar opens the track and then unfolds as more symphony elements. I'm like, this is cool. I like what you're doing. This is like my school, my like Nightwish territory. This is fucking good.
Yeah.
I know it's actually the guy that composed and conducted Symphony of Metallica 2. Because I looked up who this other guy that he's working with. Cool. There's a connection there. It's produced by Bob Rock, so there's a bit of another connection. Yeah. Okay. Well, mixed, I think. Yeah. Well, there's a little interview he did where it was mixed, but yeah. And then it's like the whole song just kind of builds up and it's really dramatic at the end. So I thought, yeah, this is cool. I want to see what else he's got. So, you know, and there was an interview recently where he said that, you know, his solos that he does in Metallica aren't 100% him because Lars likes to micromanage. Yeah. And I can see that. So this is cool that we can just get some Kirk Hammett doing what he wants to do. Yeah, I like it.
Cool. If you see me looking out of the corner of my eyes because there's a Great Dane tearing back and forth in the yard at the moment. Let's see.
He likes it too.
He likes the song. He's got the zoomies. He's got Thundermother's energy. And he's just fucking off. So what I enjoyed about this one is the how it was built around things like cello and acoustic guitar. So having the S&M composer makes a lot of sense. I didn't do any digging. I just listened to the song. You've got horns, piano, and more in this one. If anything, it reminds me, Tim referenced, you know, the thing that should not be. I think when I hear this one, I hearken back to things like Ecstasy of Gold. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
The way this used things like flute to substitute for vocals was pretty impressive, even right down to the flutist, or flautist, whatever you want to put it as, but they took the breaths, and the breaths were kept in, so it gave you the impression of a vocalist being present in the song when it wasn't. It was other stuff. That was really, really cool. There's a lot going on. It's a pretty grand kind of a song. It builds to a nice dark crescendo really well, and the heaviness at the end of this one is brilliant. I thought this is really, really well composed and performed, and this makes me more than keen to check out that EP tomorrow. I will be looking forward to seeing if there's any wah in the EP, but I do want to see where this EP will go, just on the strength of this song on its own. If you like your instrumental tracks with a bit more drama, but still plenty of balls about it, this is one you should check out. This is pretty cool. I'm keen for this EP tomorrow. Might be one we'll slot into the review cycle for next week, depending on how things are going with the popularity contest on Patreon and on the lounge page. But we'll see how things go. But that was pretty bloody cool. I was impressed by that one. It wasn't what I expected, to be honest. I thought it was going to be more your traditional have a bunch of fun kind of thing with lead guitarist. But no, this is much more of a actual full complete composition, with a bit of a soundscape to it, which is nice. I thought it was pretty well done. So let us know what you think of there. We've got some comments coming through. Let's scroll. Andrew says, it sounds pretty great. Love the drums and, killer guitar solos. Nice. Getting some love for that one too. What do we got here? Helen says, you may not like this comment, but Global Metalists, for me, it's a token, hurried, and lyrics a token. That's enough said. Well, okay. There we go. David says, you reckon he used his 2 million Les Paul and wah. So that's possible.
Apparently not.
No, well, not in this song anyway. Bill says, Kirk Hammett, I can't even explain how much I love this. What a beautiful soul this man has. Nice. Helen says, Dave, you're a funny bastard with your comment there. Keith says, what movie is Kirk Hammett trying to write a score for? That is actually a very good point. It would be good for that kind of stuff. Helen's responded to my dog running around. She's gone, my cat, little Jerry Seinfeld, is a mad bastard, runs amok as well. Pretty normal. Yeah, he's had his dinner a while ago, so it's now about that time for the zoomies for him. Keith says, it sure does have that Ennio Morricone vibe, which is, that's there. What else? Darren says, this is interesting. Want to hear some more? Nice. Ooh, DB's gone, does Jimmy want to sell his Master of Puppets box set? I have no idea, DB. You'd have to ask Jimmy. I don't think so, though. Good luck prying anything out of his hands when it comes to his music collection. Darren says, must have found his missing phone with all the riffs. And that's a very clever comment. Nicely played, Darren. Okay, Helen says, wowza, I think that Kirk Hammett sounds like a film composer score here on this one, and that is true on this. And Andrew says, as someone who back in the day owned vinyl solo albums by all the members of this, yes, I'll be giving Kirk's EP tomorrow a spin. Nice. Cool. Getting a lot of love. So, Tim, we'll see if you're...
It depends on what film score. I mean, Danny Elfman just played the Simpsons set at Coachella. The Simpsons on Coachella.
Yeah, no, well, yeah.
I mean, I want some Primus play the Oompa Loompa song live. So,
yeah. Okay.
Just because it's a film score, it doesn't necessarily mean it's musically deep. Like I said,
all I can think of right now is when Homer's sitting in the car and he's got a little Spanish flea kicking around his head while there's a riot going on with Bart at the concert.
Yeah.
That's what I've got going on in my head now. Oh, fuck. Helen's gone, there's a buck in writing scores. There's probably more money in writing scores than there is in writing original music, to be fair. So, yes, that's
that's why Mastodon did it. And a few bands have done it. And I'm sure Trent Reznor's made more money doing that Disney movie than he did the entirety of Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, and John Davis did one as well.
When was the last time Lady Gaga released an album?
True. If you weren't including A Star Is Born, yeah.
Well, that was a movie too.
I know. Yeah.
So
it's a thing.
There's something to this movie thing.
Definitely. Normally I'd get into doing gig plugs, but fuck, I'm just going to go through some screenshots I've saved of recent tour announcements. So bear with me here for a second because there's fucking heaps. Rord says I've dropped a new single too, by the way. So we'll talk about that one next week, hopefully in theory as well. What else have we got here? Just got to scroll back through a bit. Def Leppard dropped a new single. Voyager are on tour through August, it looks like. That's the one. So Voyager are going on tour in August. What else have we got here? Bad Moon Born are on tour through June. That's another one. John Corabi's on tour in June as well, a solo acoustic show. Vader are coming out here as well, so they're coming up on tour soon. What else? Corrosion of Conformity dropped a new song. What else here? Nestor dropped a new song. Come on.
The Who.
Yeah. The Who, that's the one I'm looking for. The Who, that's there as well. So that's coming up. When's that one again, Tim?
I have no idea, but I'm going.
I tell you, I haven't been to many gigs of late, and I've been sort of holding off because of the whole COVID thing. But that one might.
That was the one band. That was the one band at the last download that got cancelled. That was like the definite go see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to not go to. Metal Gods, that's another one. Metal Gods, they're coming in October. That's like got Ripper Owens and Simon Wright going from that one as well. So that's going on.
Ripper's underrated too. He's all right.
Yeah, he's good.
Yep. Black Thunder Tour, The Who. Oh, okay, now it's gone and done that. That is August. Yep, there we go. So that's August. So there's a lot. That's just me scrolling through screenshots I've taken of things, and that's not even I didn't bother writing any gig down because that's just fucking here. Go and check it out because there's a lot going on now. Got some. Nicole's going, oh yeah, new Rautism, which is cool. Helen's gone, yeah, but when's Bazza White coming to our shores? I don't know when Barry White's coming to our shores. I don't know when Sebastian Bach's coming to our shores either, but I do know that the new lineup of Skid Row is coming toward the end of the year, so that's coming as well. I don't know if you've got the right Who here. Sorry, it's HU, not the Who, the old.
No, it's not the Who as in Who Are You, the Who as in Han.
Yeah,
the Mongolian dudes.
Yeah,
throat singing, very very cool.
Yeah, and we can make Fraser Crane jokes about Mongolian throat singing the whole day.
And we probably will at this rate too. But yeah, there we go. So that's so there we go. Unfortunately, sorry, David, wrong Who probably, but also Maiden. They're probably not going to come out this year. I would tip next year in 2023 as well.
Yeah.
Keith is saying Rautism's new single is on Bandcamp on Spotify just then. Official lyric video will be out in a few days. Nice. What else here? Oh, yeah, Avalanche are on tour as well. Forgot that one. They're touring East Coast in May, June. So there we go. TB's going. Barry Morgan is back on the scene. And
Electric Mary and Shotgun Mistress.
Yes, that's true as well. Nudes is going, not the Who. Had my hopes up. Yes, unfortunately, no, it's not the Who Are You then? The Mongolian.
I don't know if Pete Townsend can tour anymore.
Probably not. But this is the version. If you're looking at the screen, the Who with HU. That's the one that we're all talking about, and we here are quite excited about behind the scenes. There we go. Helen's gone. There is no time to hold a day job with so much stuff. Yes, we know the feeling. And Tony is saying, still waiting for Violence and Sacred Reich to reschedule. Yeah, there'll be a few ones to iron out. It's interesting how we're getting a lot more newer ones, and a lot of those repostponed ones are still just sort of waiting in the wings. But we'll see what happens.
That is going to go down as one of the biggest. I would think it was criminal negligence because these gigs were never going to happen.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
And they should have just refunded everyone immediately. And even though it would have cost everyone a lot of money, at this point they're just robbing people.
Yeah, it's not a good thing at all. Here's speaking of that, and here's another one. Nicole's going, I'm still waiting for Iron Maiden. There's a few people in few different boats in that regard. But Sally's also said the Who would be incredible live, very tribal, built heaps of energy. See them for sure. Did you see them with the single with Lizzie Hale? Yes, that was very, very cool. Forget the name, but something to do with the woman. But yes, that was a very cool song.
They actually wrote a lot of their new stuff in Australia too.
Yeah. Yep.
They were in Australia, in Sydney, when the world got shut down.
Yep.
And they just started like, fuck it, and started writing new shit.
Very keen to hear more from them. Very, very keen. That last album was an absolute cracker. If you like something a bit different, get onto that one, please.
Yeah, there's no one that sounds like that. And how can they be?
That's it. It's so unique. So unique. All right, here we go. Helen's going, hey, Keith Richards, yap, is someone that one must check out. Stones rehearsing with drummer from Keith's past tracks to go on tour. Yes, they are doing
Steve Jordan.
Yeah.
Steve Jordan is one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Played from everybody. He's played part of David Letterman's band at one point. He's one of those dudes. Like you look up his discography, and he's got like his own Wikipedia page, and there's like 400 albums
there. No, that'll be a good one too, I reckon.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Like when Yamaha build new drums, they go, "Hey, Steve, come help us."
Yeah. People that know their shit. It's good to hold those ones.
Absolutely free.
Yeah. Well, here we go. And Carl Palmer, fanfare for the common man. So there we go. More from Helen there as well. All right, let's quickly move on to our hot topic for tonight, which is going to be a wild one because there's a few instances we don't know where to begin or where to end on this one. I'm glad you're here with us, Keith, because some of this revolves around things you put up on Facebook. And this is not putting him under the bus, by the way. This is just a bit of fun. But there's been a bit of a run of, shall we call it, quote-unquote, bad behaviour across Melbourne at gigs this past weekend, which was somewhat unexpected. So we've had, there was groping of women on men this time around, as opposed to the traditional where it's more likely men doing it to women. Then you've got, looks like there was some bad blood or a fight between some DJs at another nightclub. Then there was a bass player got their finger broken or something by their girlfriends. There was, Cherry Bar went off and then rolled back their statement right quick, didn't they? So that was a bit of a, I think someone filed some legal work and someone had to make good on walking things back rather dramatically because that was dramatic. But it's been an interesting weekend just taking it all in. Tim, even at your gig, it wasn't immune from issues.
Well, Keith and I were at the same gig.
But also the sound, yeah.
Okay, so now I don't want to throw people under the bus. Sound issue is a sound issue.
Yeah.
I don't think people... I don't know if people complained or anything, but I didn't. It was loud, but, it's a gig. Fucking heavy metal show. Deal with it.
Yeah.
With regards to, Gronk and Gronk-like behaviour, how do I put this? I don't feel too comfortable commenting on it.
Okay.
Because I didn't see anything personally.
Okay, yep.
That's I'm not saying it didn't happen. Of course, there are things that obviously happened. But I was, let's face it, probably out in the beer garden.
Yep.
Catching up because had some friends who had some very big news that week who I haven't seen in a very long time.
Okay, cool.
So just because I didn't feel comfortable commenting on these sorts of things. I think they are very serious.
Yep.
And I don't want to misrepresent things. Having said that, I mean, obviously Gronk and Gronk-like behaviour did happen. So don't do it because it's a bad look on everyone, and it makes it just leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And the last thing we need right now is people feeling unsafe to go out, or another reason to feel unsafe to go out into the world. Because unfortunately, these are the sorts of things that are too common, and more common than people realize. And on the other hand, the good thing is people are talking about it, and that thing goes a long way to helping to stamp out this kind of behavior.
Yeah. Cool. No, well put. Well put. About you, Dave?
Yeah, I wasn't at any of these gigs, so I didn't see or witness anything firsthand. Just what you get on social media. As far as Cherry Bar goes, I read the statement that they posted. I won't quote anything from it because it has been deleted, and it's obvious that some form of mitigation has taken place or something because they've posted an alternative post afterwards, which again I won't go into it because I don't want to fuel the fire or anything. But initially I think they were 100% correct in naming and shaming because if you're going to do these unruly behavior acts, you're going to have consequences with this shit. So I don't think Cherry Bar were out of line, having a massive rant about it, because actions have consequences. They could have escalated pretty quickly, and it could have gotten worse than what it was. So I can understand why they did it. I also understand why it was being taken down, but actions have consequences.
I'd quickly argue, just quickly in there, that if you're going to go off, make sure you got your ducks lined up. Because if you go off like the way they did, you can be liable.
That's the key. I think they
that's obviously what happened. Yeah,
they didn't word it professionally enough.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't.
You're supposed to write as per my last email, not can you fucking read, bitch?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Now, as far as two DJs having the fight, I can understand. It must be frustrating playing a gig when you're not a real musician. DJs must be very frustrating in life. So they're taking it out on each other. My button pressing skills are better than your button pressing skills. No, fuck you, I'm better button pressing. I use both fingers. I know it goes.
Meanwhile, all the keyboard players listening to that are like, ooh.
Yeah.
Playing keyboard is much different than pressing a fucking sample. I don't know. Were they just like DJing with their samples and shit? Or were they actually playing? I don't know. But yeah.
It's all strange, mate.
Once again, there's probably something personal going on there, and it's escalated a bit. So once again, can't judge. As far as the woman getting up on stage and groping someone, it's the obvious retort, but imagine a guy got up on stage and groped a woman. You wouldn't be hearing the last of it, but you don't hear all that much about it. People aren't outraged like they would be if it was the other way. So keep your fucking hands to yourself unless it's consensual.
Well, yeah, that's the golden rule in that one. Don't do it at all.
Especially, yeah.
Just don't ever.
Yeah. As far as the broken finger, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Sometimes people shift positions at the wrong time.
The timing on that was immaculate.
Yeah, that was. Fuck.
Yeah, shut up now.
Wow. Oh, wow. That was good. We don't even follow that. Now, look, I think I'm going to agree with Tim. I agree all around, actually. I would just say, if you're going to go off, get your ducks in a row first, because social media, you got to be very careful, and especially when you go actually naming things, there's a lot that can go wrong if you haven't got yourself completely covered. So that's why you'll see a flash statement and then a quick walk back. And usually something's gone on there and someone says, no, don't say that because we will get people involved. Generally speaking, I think Tim hit the right note for me when he mentioned that, we don't want to give people another reason to feel disinclined or unsafe when it comes to going out and supporting the local music scene. It's already hard enough as it is. Despite what's happening with restrictions and that, we have a virus that's still out there in the community, and people, rightly or wrongly or whatever, it doesn't matter. They feel a particular way about it, and that will influence their behaviors. It influences mine at the moment. I'm too damn busy to actually go willingly out of my way to go and take a punt on getting sick. It's going to take something pretty special to make it worth my while because I've got too much to do. So I think that anything that gives more people more excuse when it's, even without COVID, it's hard enough because there's so many more options at home to keep yourself entertained, where if you can be safe in your own four walls and you can Netflix or Spotify the shit out of whatever you want to watch or listen to, you're up against it being a live entertainment venue. It's going to charge a shitload of money to do these things. When we talk about, things like cost of living, that as well. So anything that diminishes or makes the, going to your favorite, close venue to see a band and love, makes that less appealing is bad for us all. I just don't see there's any benefit to it at all. So that whole gronk behavior, and just don't see a need for it. I don't see a need for it at the sport. I don't see a need for it at anything. Doesn't matter if it's music, sport, fucking your RSL, I don't know, lawn bowls club. I don't give a shit what it is. Just if we all just paid attention and, we're actually good to each other and made this much more of a community like it's supposed to be and didn't, all the stupidity that goes into it. We've seen a lot of stupidity over the last sort of few days. And so it's just like, just call it. And for the people that, calling it out in a correct way is like in a smart way is the good way to do things. If there is bad behavior, then it should be discussed and called out. Just do it safely so you're not going to get yourself, thrown with a lawsuit back the other way as well. So it's a bit of back and forth on it. It's not something I don't want to spend forever today on it, but it's just sort of like, that whole don't be a dick. It's not that hard. Yeah. Whether you're a guy, a girl, or whatever, just don't be a dick. Just be nice to other people around you and don't take liberties that aren't yours to take. That's pretty straightforward as far as I'm concerned. Apparently some people struggle with that concept, but hopefully after this weekend and how fast it's gone around, hopefully people will think twice this coming weekend. So have fun, enjoy yourself. Just be mindful of there are other people in the environment as well.
And know your limitations too.
Yeah.
Know when to say that's enough drink for the night.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. If you want to get loaded and absolutely blind, I personally do that at home. I don't do that when I'm out in the
It's much more fun at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheaper too.
Yeah, it is a lot cheaper. It's an interesting one. I know people like to have a good time, but there's a good time for you and there's a good time for all. Let's try and make it a good time for all.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Good way of saying it.
Alrighty, what else we got here? DB says Letterman gets a second mention, which is cool. Nude says, be good to see more live footage of anyone rather than the countless videos of Bon Jovi being passed. Yeah, there's a few of that going around as well.
Yeah, man. Bon Jovi turned into James LaBrie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was waiting for that response.
I've been waiting all day to use that line.
Oh, wow.
I'm offended. I don't get offended. I'm offended.
I've been waiting all day to use that line. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Man, that is another case of brilliant timing. So well done on the delivery there, Tim. Fucking hell. What else we got here?
I don't mean that. He's not that bad. Like, James is a much better singer, obviously, but
yeah.
It's an interesting one. Yes, but we do need to see more footage of other bands and also less of Santa Cruz being drop kicks as well. So there's plenty of shit things going on at the moment. Let's get some good music out there, some good footage out there. Let's share the vibe, share the love around a bit. Let's have this thing being fun again. Nicole,
it seems to be quicker for something that's terrible to spread than something that's actually really good.
Yeah.
You don't hear about this band did a fucking great performance.
That's humanity.
That's one of the things with social media is it's big on the hate scroll.
Yeah, it's good to destroy. That's the attitude.
Yeah.
And this person fucked up and just destroyed their career.
But it's not only that, because what social media have done is tapped into what they know about human nature. I did this thing years ago where they worked out that when even before social media, that a negative review would spread 5 times faster than a positive one. So for every negative one you did in a business, you have to do at least 5 other good things to try and counterbalance it. So just in terms of customer service work, that is something that's been around for a while now before social media was even conceived of. So I'm talking about, back in the days when you had the Motorola brick phone, that's when I was learning about things like that. So it's not a new concept. It's just that social media is working.
But that's the concept behind reality TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why reality TV is successful. It's just a car crash.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
watching bad behavior unfold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sort of shit. Like we even know that Facebook, for example, will tweak the algorithm if they see it's getting angry reacts more than likes. That's what you see more.
I think angry reacts are like weighted like 20 times more than a like.
Yeah. Yep.
Something like that. So yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's designed for the hate scroll.
Yeah. They want you to stay on there just scrolling away. That's what they want. Just in making you engaged and angry because you'll stay there because you want to have an argument and prove your point. And that's what we're all geared towards.
What you should be doing is going to check out the bands we mentioned earlier.
Yes. Go and check out some
new songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a whole lot of good shit to check out in the description box. We haven't talked about it all yet. We've got more to get through. But yeah, there's a heap out there. What else again? Nicole says, nasty business, no place for it in the local metal scene, which is true. Back to The Who for a second. Sally's going to want to hear something along the lines of The Who. Check out Heilung. Okay, cool. Yeah. Keith says, yeah, I agree. He couldn't mix a birthday cake. There we go about the...
it was pretty incredible. It was the loudest stage noise I've ever had, but I still couldn't hear it.
Wow. That's mad. Basher's going, Who, not The Who. I won't get fooled again. Good. Good. Check out.
See what you did there.
Nice. Conrad's here. Sorry I am late. Good to see you, buddy. Doesn't matter what time people turn up. It's always here. Good to see you again, pal. Dave's 100% well said. Nice. Helen is saying what peeps need to recognize is that when you're out in public space, you can never tell who has taken what, who is drunken what, and who thinks that hello is a stalker move. Tolerance has never been more needed. It's true each way there. Keith says, yeah, I would say the same thing as Tim. Dave is right. Blokes get a raw deal when it comes to the noise that gets raised on things. That's from Helen there as well. Keith says, it's the full moon. That's what most people would say. But Bell, Dave, once again expressing his great love for DJs, which we all know he has a soft for. Sally says, yep, hands to yourself, respect personal space. It isn't hard, and I agree with that completely. Sally, well said. Nicole says, the metal scene has always been a safe environment I've found. Go to a disco, etc. There are fights all the time, and that's a true point there as well for me. I'll agree with that one. Keith says, fair dingham, so many angry Eshe kids in nightclubs. And Darren says, here's a thought, keep your fucking hands to yourself. Not that hard, is it? That's it. Michael says, I went away to the country over Easter weekend and didn't have much internet, and so I couldn't believe what I came back to when I arrived in Melbourne with all these incidents happening on the same weekend. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I haven't seen a weekend like it. I haven't seen anything like it at all. There's a question on Twitch. I'll get to that in a second, Dark Star Day. That's a random question. We'll get to that in a moment. Conrad says, I was at the Bendy show. Didn't see anything. I was at the Fang night too. It wasn't so much the two DJs fighting. It was a third party that interfered. That was the issue that caused the problem. Well, there you go. We get more information from different people with different points. So, yeah, none of us were there, obviously, but all of it's not a good look all around. Keith says, John Bon Jovi is the new Wes Scantlin. Actually, that's not bad. I'll pay that. Andrew says, I find it more challenging to get motivated to get to gigs now. I don't work in the CBD. Plus, I work rotating shifts. If I know ahead of time, I will take a day or two off work for a gig. And that's a big commitment.
Yeah, the Frankston to CBD trip is a hard one.
Yeah, it's I don't miss the Cranbourne commute that I used to have. It's a bit different over here now. Pen on Facebook. Hi, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully you're keeping well over there. Good to get a new face. Dean, I think a lot of people get pissed at home nowadays since COVID came in. Don't be a dick. So there we go.
Oh, yeah. COVID totally normalized, like, drinking at home by yourself.
Yeah.
And people realize, like, how much fun it is.
Yes. I've enjoyed it for a long time. One of my favorite pastimes is drinking at home. So there we go. Rowan says, so Tim has to say 5 nice things about Bon Jovi now. Ooh, can he do it?
No, I can't do that. Okay. Will Bon Jovi actually have the same management as Motley Crue? And one of the things that killed Motley Crue was their management preferred Bon Jovi. So there's one positive thing.
That's a backhand compliment.
That was just a chance to spill a random fact. I don't actually. I don't know.
I'll get you dancing off the hook.
Does Orianthi count as 5 positive things?
That'll do. I'll take that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll actually pay that. I say that makes up for it and then some. To which Michael's gone, that's gold, Tim. So there we go. Helen says, everybody was like me and a fucking great vibe and dances their ass off with a smiling face. We'd all be happy as fuck. And that's the thing too. Everyone would be happy if we could all just do that. DB says Lemmy's favorite band name was The Who. So there we go. Going back on that, it's not going to get old tonight, is it? That's going to get going.
That is a great band name.
Yeah, it is. Dean says, like
not
the band.
Not to be confused with the other Mongolian metal band, the Guess Who.
Oh wow, this is puntastic tonight. We are on fire. Dean says, like the band George Satellite says, keep your hands to yourself. That is true as well. Here we go. Keith says, I'll help you out with one. Tim, John Bon Jovi runs a fancy soup kitchen. That is true. He does do a charitable.
That's true. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. There we go. We are finding him there. And Andrew says, I almost lost a camera at a gig due to some moron groping the young lady behind me. She leaped forward and grabbed my dual camera strap, released one side, managed to catch it. Fucking hell. There are always unintended consequences of this kind of stupidity. It's just at all. I do have a random question from Twitch. I want to get to that one now. So Dark Star Day. We'll try to keep this one brief. We have covered this before in the past. We'll try and keep this one, give it a bit of time here. Do you think new bands with music like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Judas Priest could make it in today's industry? If new bands with music like that, do we think they can make it today? Dave, let's go to you.
Depending on what era of Metallica, if it's early thrash, it'd probably find its audience, but it wouldn't be mainstream. I think they'd have better chance with stuff off Load than off the Black Album, even though the Black Album was a massive success. I don't think the Climax mainstream is something that the Black Album would be as successful these days. Priest, they definitely find a metal audience, but once again, it wouldn't be mainstream, so they wouldn't be as well known a band. Guns N' Roses, the controversy behind them. If you took what they did in that time period from 87 to 91, they'd be fucking cancelled before they got started.
Fair point.
And if they didn't do what they did, they wouldn't be the same infamous band. They wouldn't have the same lyrics, so it wouldn't be the same. So today, no way.
All right. What about you, Tim?
Define make it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the hard part. Yeah.
I don't think a band would ever be as big as Metallica again.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because I just think the division of source material has changed so much. Now, back in the day, we'd have 5 radio stations and 3 TV stations, and so we're all listening to it, hearing mostly the same things. So I don't think a band will ever be that big again, even the biggest pop group.
Yep.
Having said that, I mean, there's always going to be. Will a band that sounds like a young band that sounds like Metallica, or a Judas Priest, or a Guns N' Roses, who are a good band, who happen to get the right breaks along the way, can they make a career playing to as a touring artist? Absolutely.
Yep.
We've covered tons of them on the show.
Yep.
And we've covered tons. Unfortunately, we've covered tons more that aren't, that deserve to be.
Yeah.
But that's just the way of the music world. Unfortunately, there's always been good bands that haven't totally made it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's interesting because Tim mentioned the way media has shifted, so there's more ways to get your entertainment. So there's more ways to reach a market, because now with record labels in a bit of a decline as well, there's less gatekeeping going on. So bands are much more in control of their own destiny than they used to be, which I think is a good thing with the advent of things like TikTok. And I know people don't like TikTok. There's a whole lot of people that don't, but there's a whole lot of people that do. And TikTok is now at a point where it's generating #1 hits and things like that. So it's actually having a marketable
what's is it? That Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah.
That's been in the charts now for like 2 years
because
that guy was skateboarding and drinking cranberry juice.
Yep. And that's all it takes is a viral moment. So the advent of social media has changed the game a lot. This wasn't around when the old bands were doing their thing. So I think that the market's much more widely blown open. I agree with Tim that we won't see bands hit the heights of things like Metallica and that anymore. I just find that to be hard to believe. But making a living out of doing music, I think it's more accessible than ever before. I think you can find your niche audience, and you just need to find enough to make it work for you. And it's not unrealistic if you're good at what you do and you work hard enough at it.
I just want to clarify.
Yep.
When I say making a living, I don't mean me being rich.
No. I mean making you earn a living wage, not a
like I think. Yeah. Okay, I think Devin Townsend is amazing.
Yes.
But that guy's been very open about how much money he makes, and he's not lighting the world on fire.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he's just playing Royal Albert Hall again. But yeah. But having said that, I mean, would you rather do that or sit in an office?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And that's where it comes down to your definition of making it and that as well. So I think it's a good question. I think that any band of any style, any creative individual now, the world is much more open to whatever you do, be it painting, literature, poetry, fucking whatever. You know, visual arts, it doesn't matter. You know, anything is much more open to the world now. So you got a shot if you're good enough at what you do to cut through and you work at it hard enough to, you know, gain some traction. I think that's what it comes down to, more than being stylistically inclined to X, Y, Z, because you'll always find people that have a taste that aligns to yours. It's just a matter of how well you can work that angle and get that audience to grow. That's what I think is more important these days than sort of stylistically comparing things. It's just going to come down to work ethic and redefining making it. If you can get paid enough to eat and to get your house and all that kind of stuff, you know, just a modest everyday income, and you can do that by doing something you truly love to do, I think that's making it. I think that's the definition of making it for me now anyway. Just make enough, just enough to be okay.
Yeah, the no more private jets and
forget that. And I think it'll also keep you more in touch, if that makes sense too, by not having that excess lifestyle where you got more money than God. I think that'll actually help artists long term too, by not being aloof from their fan base. I think that connectedness is going to be important over the next generation. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But yeah, there's a bit to play out. But yeah, it's an interesting question that comes up pretty often. But yeah, it's always good to get some input on that one. So there we go. Now we've got some comments on this one. Helen saying, no, there's a culture of expectation, the propensity to default to old habits, and the belief that 60-plus-year-olds will still be loyal is true, yet new audience will find them is stale as buggery. So there we go. And she goes, I'm the no hater of Fleetwood Mac, and let's get that out there, and Phil Collins as well.
I love Phil Collins.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
They're drummers bands, those bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Dean said that's one of the topics he wants to discuss with me over the phone. We'll get to a phone chat at some point. That's a good topic to chat about. There's a lot there as well. Rowan says, I'm surprised that Devin isn't killing it. No, he hasn't been killing it for a while. He's super talented, but he's been pretty open about. Yeah,
no, but
he does enough.
In the grand scheme of things, like he's like at the level below the Metallica.
Yeah.
There's Devin Townsend, and there's Meshuggah and Gajira and Mastodon and Machine Head and Lamb of God and all that. They're all the same level as far as heavy metal bands are concerned.
And I think that'll be the making it in the next decade. Do you know
and let's be honest, I mean, when Dave Lombardo left Slayer, he was very honest about how much money he was making in Slayer.
Yeah.
And it's roughly the same amount as almost exactly the same amount as what Devin is saying he's making.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it tracks, doesn't it?
It makes sense,
given
how much money Slayer are generating. But there's also, as I said, the amount of people in the chain that need to get paid in order for that show to happen. At the end, there's only so much money left.
Yeah, there's only X amount to go around. That's the problem with it. Dean says here, no one will reach the heights like the old school bands anymore. Game has changed dramatically since then.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same in all fields, man. I mean,
changed.
I think it was what I Loved Lucy used to have like an 80 share.
Yeah.
Like, what TV show is doing that now?
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible when there's so many TV channels and television options. So
yeah,
that's just how media is working.
It's different. I think engagement is the key. It's more than that, the natural reach, quote unquote. That makes sense. Here we go. Dean says Greta Van Fleet are doing well and not working day jobs for the newer generation. So there we go. That's one band.
Exactly.
Yep. Rowan says, I always wondered how Aerion stayed afloat. Very few live shows, and given the number of guests on each album, they must cost a lot to produce. I think Arjen reduces a lot of that by doing it all himself, and he has all the writing credits, 90% of them anyway. I'm pretty sure he does composition work. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that would be how he'd probably make a bit of his crust. It could be anything. It could be just jingles for all I fucking know, because he knows how to write good, catchy stuff. And there's a lot of money made in jingle writing if you're good at it. So yeah, it'd be something in that space. I think would probably help chip in that regard, or even just being a ghost.
In terms of money, the most successful band Australia has ever made is the Wiggles.
Yes.
So AC/DC ain't got nothing on the Wiggles. So that's where if that's all we're looking at, then that's where you go.
That's it. Kids and, funnily enough, religious music. Those are the ones. Those are the markets that'll make you a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, man. God loves 20-piece drum kits.
Yeah. What else we got here? Vinny says social media has created more revenue streams, which reaches wider audiences much faster. That's another one there as well from Vinny. And Dean says Airborne is another who don't work day jobs. They're Australian, but it's so much tougher here, as we know. There was a comment earlier on I want to get through, which is a bit of a fun one here. Where is it? Random thought. There we go. Vinny. Random thought. I think during this current election campaign, we need a metal version of ScoMo on the ukulele. Spotify will be lit, and the track could be a remake of Dennis Leary's "I'm an Asshole." Now that I'd be down for. That I'd be.
What would be the metal version of April Sun in Cuba?
Ooh, that's a tough question, isn't it?
Because that was so perfect for him to sing. Just about leaving your life behind and going away to a tropical island.
Absconding, yeah. Just fuck. What would it... Now, does it have to have that dripping sense of irony as well? Like that's the
thing. Like, unfortunately, I think the idea of going away to a tropical island and leaving your responsibilities behind is not very metal.
No, it's really not. Damn, that's a tough one. Give us some suggestions out there. What song would you pick to do that with? That would be...
You could just play April Sun in Cuba with blast beats over it.
Well, that would be interesting. And make a video of that with a guy on a skateboard drinking cranberry juice. You're off.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Man, that's a tough one. Oh, there we go. Speaking of the Wiggles, Andrew says, I recently added Murray Cook to my wall. So there you go.
Murray's a champ.
Yep.
Murray's a champ.
Sorry, here we go. So Helen says, shit, I meant to say I'm the number one disser of Fleetwood. I would rather eat a tea towel than play a single track of Fleetwood.
Yeah, we got that vibe when you mentioned Phil Collins. I'm one of the few Phil Collins fans around here.
Yeah. Let's not get Brendan in and talk about fucking Billy Joel. The less said it.
Man, there's a torture album. Go get you guys to listen to Genesis.
Keith says might get the Aftershocks involved in that little bit of a ukulele rendition for ScoMo, which is all right. Here we go. Back on the other conversation. Michael has said, I think digital is what changed the game. More people can make their music in their own home rather than hiring out a studio. Find there's some music out there, some music gets lost, and their bands are less likely to reach new heights of bands in the past due to how much music is out there. You need to have some song that comes to the game, such as Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, or Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun. It's a good point there too. It is much more.
The other thing is that nobody mentions is quite often being in a band sucks.
It's hard work.
It is really hard work. You're quite often relying on people who are very unreliable. And you're very dysfunctional. You have to rely on people to chip in so many different ways, devote their time, devote money, devote effort, devote ideas. You've got to be on the same page for all these things as well. Whereas sometimes it's just easier to go, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Mm-hmm. And you're eliminating a lot of the dysfunction out of your life then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like doing a group project like for years.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Dave?
I don't think this generation of kids need a big anthem song like Smells Like Teen Spirit. They've just got so many other things to occupy their time, games and chat. And I don't know. I don't think there's one song that's going to be like a song of a generation. I think that's gone. Because you don't have that, you're not going to have a band to get
I'm waiting for Tim to break into dad vibes.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's
But once again, that Limp Bizkit don't appeal to the younger generation anymore. They're dad.
Well, you know what it is? It's the Hogwarts band when Cedric Diggory dies. And they're playing the happy music.
Actually, though, on a more serious note, the songs that will cut through will be in popular culture, like a Harry Potter or that'll be one.
It's
thing.
Like it's like now, like in everything ever, like people are like dubbing something in the way over it just for laughs because it was in Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once again, it's old songs.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. This is true. Oh, Helen's mentioned Dragon when it came to the April Sun in Cuba. The funny thing is that Dragon even turned out and fucking shit canned Scott Morrison for using that song, so that was funny.
Yeah, that happens a lot when not to be biased, but I mean when people of a certain political compass use music.
Yeah. Artists don't tend to like being commented by the right wing. There are exceptions, but as a general rule.
They get Kid Rock and we get everyone else.
No, what's his name? Aaron Lewis is another one that probably and Ted Nugent. They're some other ones that are in that bracket too. Anyway, Dave,
God, you guys, has anyone else seen the new Kid Rock video?
No.
He's stunning. It is amazing.
As in how bad?
It is one of the biggest car crashes I've ever seen, and it's incredible.
Okay.
Like, if you thought Kid Rock sucked before.
Wow. Okay, now I have to check it out.
It is incredible. It's America.
Wow. Okay.
It is more America than the Gun Drummer. But I love the Gun Drummer.
Yeah. Just back on which song we should go to. David said a Jimmy Buffett song. Okay, that'd be interesting. Rowan said he went to the island when he had the hot potato. There's another song suggestion, hot potato for Morrison.
Hot potato is a good one.
Keith says Island in the Sun by Alcatraz. That's not a bad one. All right. For Scott Morrison, Lee, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining in on this one. For Scott Morrison, King Parrot, Bozo. That's a good one. That's there. A good one. Got a lot of love for Phil Collins too, by the way. So Andrew says he loves Phil Collins. Dean says he loves Phil Collins. Sorry, I'm on the last tour.
See, I told you the drummers will come out for Phil Collins. The drummers will
come out, yeah. But didn't miss a beat. His voice sounds fantastic. Still her. Nicole says love Phil Collins and Billy Joel. DB says Jethro Tull are a one-man band. There's a few of those kicking around there as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's a shame that In the Air Tonight became like a joke.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because that is one of the most rhythmically perfect songs ever written.
Yep. That crescendo is perfect. Like, seriously.
No, but it's a pop song with 3 different tempos going on all at the same time. And they all just weave in and out of each other. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's well done. It's a brilliantly done song. I know it is a bit of a meme level song these days, but it's fucking just on
but you know what? Why is it a meme level song?
Because it's that
everybody knows it.
Yeah, exactly. They cut through. More love. Phil Collins is a freaking legend from Darren. So there we go. Sally says, yes, a lot of time being in a band is very, very difficult. So we're getting back to those ones as well too. Dean says, second that, Tim. Being in a band is tough and got to work hard to go after what you want. Don't expect much in return. This is true as well. Yep. Andrew says some bands just get lucky. Teskey Brothers spotted busking by James Young. He got them a last one on Triple M Breakfast and they took off. And it's a bit of who you know in that too. That's not just like it's also who you know.
Hey, who you know is a big part of a lot of things, man.
Yes, it is. Tony says Australia is a great place to live, but a shit place to make a living out of being in a metal band. That's a fair point. It's pretty tough here. Helen, I often host Saturday nights at my house, and the tracks that I can rock are unheard by others, and I love that. When tracks are good, they are gold. Because of my age, I said both sides are great stuff. Anything from Hendrix to Dead Mouse, love it. That's cool. Love diverse, eclectic tastes in music, and if you can get a group of people to enjoy that sort of stuff, that's a great night all around. Conrad, I just don't see this generation as interested in music as we were, Gen Xers. Plus, as they have way more other things to distract them, i.e., getting likes on TikTok, games, Facebook, social media, etc. There are a lot more distractions now. Music is not as socially, not as much of a social glue as it used to be, if that makes sense. But that's where TikTok's one that will probably help things because it is built around being a music platform too. So it was originally called Musical.ly, just for the record. So it was Musical.ly and then got bought and turned into TikTok. So there you go. Sally says that happened with Jimmy Barnes, working class man. Can't remember the poll. Jimmy put his foot down hard. That's right. That was another one that that happened there too with a politician. David says Ted Nugent is a legend. He's got some interesting points of view, but a great catalogue of music. DB says early Genesis are absolutely superb proc band. So there we go as well. Man family, good to see you. Shut up your face, Joe Dolce. There we go. Nice call. That is cool. Do a mellow version of that. Helen, Phil Collins is a shit vocalist. I don't think I'd agree with that personally.
Yeah, nah.
Rowan says, I love Phil Collins' guitar work in Def Leppard. Yeah, well, there we go. Still his abs around here somewhere on the set. But also, Phil Collins' son is his drummer now, and God doesn't fall far from the tree.
He's like 16 years old when he first started playing.
Cool. Here we go.
Phil doesn't have much left though in him. He's performing sitting down these days, and he's getting on years.
Yeah, that's true. All right, one more. Helen's gone. Jimmy's brother, John Swan, who is half brother to Jimmy, is brilliant. So there we go as well on that one.
There's another one whose son is his drummer as well. The young Jackie Barnes, who's a great drummer.
Yep. Yes, definitely.
I say young, he's older than me.
But by comparison too. Yeah. All right, let's get into this little mini battle. We're sitting on this one. We've got to get to this mini battle. We've got to get to it. Quickly, we did a snap poll on Facebook and social today, and it looked to be a pretty even split at the end of the day, which I was a little bit, I wasn't sure which way to go. It was either going to be completely lopsided or it was going to go like this. And we're going to talk about, just quickly here, Iron Maiden, the self-titled debut album from the band Iron Maiden, versus Judas Priest's British Steel. It's a 1 versus 1 album little mini battle we're doing here today. And the reason for this is because they both celebrated their 42nd birthday literally a week ago. So it's one of those things where it's just one of those little quirks in time where both of these classic albums came out on the same day. I think it was April 14, 42 years ago. So make of that what you will. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's see which one we'd pick and why. Make sure you let us know in the comments which album of the two you pick and why. Let's go to you first, Tim. I think Dave's got some notes prepared. So, Tim, let's go to you. Which album do you pick and why?
Well, British Steel.
Mm.
And I mean, that's not to degenerate the first Maiden album. It's just that it's a first album.
Yeah.
For a band. It's a young band. It's obviously a talented band, but are still working out the kinks. I think even like Killers is a much better album than the first album.
Okay, yep.
So I mean, at this point, Priest are in full swing, and Priest already have a couple of classic albums under their belt at this point.
Mm.
In fact, Priest are already in the cash-in stage at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're comparing two different bands at different stages of their career.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, when you talk about Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest, then we get to some interesting arguments.
We do, yes.
At this point in stage, in 1980, Priest are miles ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was surprised by the poll as the big 50-50. I think there were a lot of
Mastodons.
people who saw Iron Maiden and then.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I honestly thought it wasn't going to be much of a fair fight. The poll surprised me with how evenly it was split. I haven't got a final tally yet; it's still going on. But it was an interesting one to get such a varied response. That one. Has you got anything more to add there, Tim? Or nah. All right, Dave. What about you?
Maiden, 100% easy.
Here we go. Yeah.
They're two different bands at two different stages of their career. Obviously, Priest have a few out. They've got a bit more experience, a bit more of a name for themselves. And better production probably, but Maiden, the songs on the first Maiden album are fucking great. You know, like Phantom of the Opera, Running Free, and Transylvania. Those 3 songs alone are better than anything on British Steel.
Oh man,
I don't care. I was gonna say that. I fucking love those songs.
No
Stuff on
way.
British Steel is good. It's good. I'm not saying anything bad about that album, but those Maiden songs, any of those songs Maiden play live these days, and the whole fucking audience knows them, they go nuts. Okay, anything on British Steel, Priest play, the audience goes nuts. But it's just a preference, chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
But I think for a debut album, Maiden certainly had a lot of energy, a lot of songs. I mean, there's faults all through the album. It's not perfect, but hey, it's rock and roll. You don't have to be fucking perfect. But you know, I think with the Priest album, they were at the commercial stage. So you got Breaking the Law, you got Living After Midnight. Those are songs that you can play on afternoon radio. Maiden is still a metal album. You're not going to get those songs on radio, at least not in the afternoon. You're going to get on
the
metal.
Greatest cheesy songs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. Living After Midnight, cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, it is. And that guitar is a thing, but yeah. But come on, man, the fucking riff in Phantom of the Opera, but even like, you know, Brent on fuck. You know, Strange Worlds, something a little mellow there, and you got the classic Iron Maiden song, and yeah, Remember the Morrow did something different for the band, but yeah, I just fucking love this album. So yeah, Maiden.
Okay. So we've done this battle a few times over the years. We've done 2 different in like discography versus battles kind of things before as well, and it was an interesting discussion had Dave and I for both of those ones, and they were very interesting discussions. Just on album versus album merit. This is why I didn't think it'd be a fair fight, because we are talking about a debut album versus seasoned veterans at this point in time. So I didn't think it was a fair fight to begin with. And as someone who, in our 2 previous Priest versus Maiden battles, was enthusiastically on the side of Iron Maiden, in this battle, directly comparison-wise, album, I'm picking Priest by a straight. Like, it's not even close. Not even close. Just on pure songs. Like, I don't know, you got Running Free on Maiden, and you've got Iron Maiden. For me, they're the ones that kind of jump out. But when it comes to British Steel, you got Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, United, Living After Midnight. Grinder, that's another one there as well. Like, yeah.
Opera, Transylvania.
Yeah.
I'd argue Maiden's more of a metal album, like a heavy metal album.
And you're probably right. I'm
not
arguing the merit of which one's more metal.
You don't have to be old to be wise, and you don't have to be heavy to be good.
More, yeah. That's well played.
You can be both, though. You can be both.
You can be both.
Yeah, you can be both. If we were talking Killers versus British Steel, we would have an argument.
Yeah.
The first album,
Killers versus
British Steel, I think it's British Steel.
This is literally because they got released on the same day as each other. Like, I'm not this. That's why I didn't think this was a fair battle. I'm not sitting here going, this is like 2 closely matched albums. I don't think.
Like by the time we get to Killers, like even then, I'd say they're like Maiden are getting really good.
Yeah,
I prefer Killers.
But
I prefer self-titled over Killers.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Always have.
Yeah.
Even like back when I was 9.
Killers has Rap Child on.
Rap Child's fucking great.
Such a great song.
It is.
Interesting. It is interesting. So yeah, it's yeah. There's some good tracks on Killers, but yeah, no, I just think that in this little mini battle thing, I don't really consider it. Because I just think about songs that have stayed with me more over the years. And like I said, I listen to Maiden probably more than I listen to Priest. It's actually probably a fair bet. But just the songs, the ones on British Steel just are much more entrapped in my mind than the ones on Iron Maiden. So that's why I picked that one there. So Dave's on the outlier. Tim and I are agreeing on this one. But I know the audience has been fucking split. It's been so funny. I did not think it'd go that way because I just thought, yeah, my thought was debut album versus well-oiled machine, and it was very.
Iron Maiden fans are the Tool fans of new wave and British heavy metal.
That's a good point. I'll pay that.
It's great to be an Iron Maiden fan, but you also kind of secretly make fun of Iron Maiden fans.
Dave,
I've heard.
yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to say it to our face.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I love Iron Maiden. And then when you're surrounded by Iron Maiden fans, it's like, they're not that good.
Just on the strength of this album, like, there's not a fucking represent. It's just I thought it was just a funny quirk of fate. They both got released on the same day. I thought
it is interesting because I mean these are the two British metal bands that people will compare for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And having releases like this on the same date doesn't help that cause. It just gives it easy fodder for things like us to go and have fun with. So it'll always be a comparison point, and it's interesting. It's really, really, yeah. There were some funny, interesting comments that came through on that one. All right. So let's get to some comments. We'll get to there we go. So Dean says, just back with the who knows who kind of thing. With who you know is a big part of the getting somewhere. AC/DC Albert's connection was a big part of their success. That's true as well. Here we go. Great drummer Jackie filled in for Rose Tattoo for a while. So there we go. There's more love there. Here we go. Keith says that was a tough one, that battle. Yes, it was. There was a lot of people going not find that one easy. David says Maiden, raw punky metal. Love it. There you go, Dave. One for you. Nicole says I had to go with Maiden in the end. All right. So Dave's winning the audience poll so far. Helen says should have been April 1st. There's a clue. So David says Judas Priest. It's a classic. I have the early JP Rock-a-Roller and Sad Wing. Unbelievable. Nice. Oh. Nice. Lee is saying Priest. DB
that
is
counts
saying
as one though.
Oh, what? Yes, I know. We need Wayne here. No,
Judas fucking Priest.
Yeah. DB saying totally agree with Dave. There's another one there.
Yep.
Vinny says British still by a slim margin. It's a polished album for me. David says Dave is 100% right. But Lee is saying wash your mouth at Dave.
No, I won't. No,
Dave. Sally's with Dave. DB says breaking the law sucks. TC, you could have jumped in. You got the link. But he says Priest every day of the week. So there we go.
No.
This is a good comment here. Keith's gone chalk and cheese, more like Camembert and Brie. So there we go. Priest was 0. Okay. I'm not sure, Nicole. Here we go. Priest was Priest, but Maiden was what the hell is this? It's awesome. Okay, there we go. Tony says Maiden for me. Maiden versus Killing Machine, Hellbent for Leather is a tougher contest. Okay, yeah, there's some good ones there. DB says Deanna has a better voice than Halford.
Oh, yeah, nah.
I think, you will agree with that one. Dave, would you even agree with that statement?
No.
See?
and to be honest, if I'm listening to the songs, I go for live versions with Dickinson.
Yeah, there you go. That says a bit there. What else? Darren says, I'm on the fence. I love both Maiden with the punk metal and Priest with the commercial sound. Dean says Priest for me. Andrew says, normally go with Tim, but not this time. Maiden for me. Wow. Vinny said in Ireland, they're currently debating whoever wins between Westlife and Boyzone. So there we go. And Helen.
Which was the one with Ronan Keating?
Oh, fuck.
I think that was Boyzone, maybe?
I'm fucked if I know.
I don't know.
What? I think it's more the Cause versus the Cranberries.
Well, yeah. Oh. Ouch. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Dean's confirmed boys only always win. So there we go. Helen's gone boys to men. There's another one there as well. But she's also gone, is it like Scoma versus Albanese?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think, Tim, you and I are on the losing end of the poll tonight on the snap poll on the chat here.
Are we listening to the same album?
I don't think people are, but all right. Yeah. It's an interesting one, but
I think it must depend on how much you like cheese.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, Pretty Still is one of the more cheesier albums.
Yeah,
that's why I like it.
Yeah, I know British Steel always gets picked as a number one Priest album, but I think they've got easily 5 more than them. Much better than British Steel.
Painkiller.
There are better Priest albums than
Painkiller,
British Steel.
Firepower, Defenders of the Faint,
Yeah.
Screaming for Vengeance.
Yeah.
They're all better.
Painkillers.
Painkillers.
Yeah, they are. They
We
are.
should-
But I mean, when we saw Priest a few years back when they played Breaking the Law, we were all happy as hell.
Yeah.
Because we all know it's a fucking metal classic. It's a staple.
What we should do in a few weeks is a follow-up to this, where we poll the audience for what the most popular Maiden album is, the most popular Priest album is, regardless of years, just the 2 most popular ones, audience choice. Put those ones head-to-head just to have a bit of a different
this is where it is, right? If you took the best Maiden album, the 2 best Maiden albums and the 2 best Priest albums, and stacked them up side by side, it'd be close. It'd be a close fight.
Yeah, they would. That'd be haymakers.
The difference is, like, Maiden knocked it out of the park like 5-6 albums in a row.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't think Priest have done that. They've probably done 3.
Yeah, probably not the sustained level, but at the same point. Oh yeah, they both had some big lows too. So yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, the highest of the high, the creme de la creme of Maiden, there's a few better albums there.
Yeah.
Because they've got, between, Number of the Beast and Power Slave and Seven Sons and Somewhere in Time and
Peace of Mind.
Yeah.
Peace of Mind.
They're all classic.
I love Fear of the Dark as well.
Yeah, I didn't put Brave New World personally, but that's different.
Brave New World.
Whereas with Priest, I mean, there's like as far as the top of the top, there's Painkillers, Firepower.
Yep.
And then there's a
Screaming
for Vengeance, and then there's probably a little bit, Defenders of the Faith. People will argue. You ram it down. People will argue. But I mean, the fact that people are arguing, it means that there are people that disagree with it.
Yeah. Be an interesting one just to do that. Just pick the 2 most popular ones and just see what happens in that regard. Just have
that'd be fun.
A random mini battle again. Just a different little concept to play
Well,
with.
that's it. I mean, if you do Power Slave versus Painkiller, that's hard.
That would be painful because I'd probably go Painkiller.
That's hard.
Well, I love Maiden, but fucking Painkiller is a better album than Power Slave. Consistently,
but they're both great. They're both virtually perfect.
Yeah, it's a moronic battle for the fun of it, but it'd be fun. It's not just to argue it, just to have some fun with it. It'd be just something stupid to do for 10 minutes. Like we do with everything else. Why not? No, Nicole has corrected us. Ronan Keatings would take that, and that is correct. I remember that now.
They're all shit anyway.
They are.
Yeah.
Keith says Westlife versus Boyzone should be U2 versus Thin Lizzy. Ooh,
Thin Lizzy.
That's not a contest.
That's not a contest.
Yeah. I think even Bono would agree with that.
Yeah, probably would.
Yeah.
Dean's going favorite Priest album. I think Painkiller for me.
Painkiller.
Yeah.
Which Vinny's replied Painkiller. DB says they're both great albums. It's simply subjective personal taste, like debating what color is best, and that's the point. It's a bit of fun. We don't take it seriously.
We take it a little bit seriously.
Yeah. Ellen's gone. You fuckers don't know it yet because you're not in your 60s, but you will change.
I've been changed in 42 years. I'm not going to change in the next 18.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I'm not going to change anytime soon, much to my wife's chagrin. TC says Tim was spot on about Maiden fans. That's why they won the poll, not because the songs are better. They taste it because it's Maiden. So there we go. Well, they choose because
not true. I just said that Painkiller's a better album than Power Slave of all.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about the. Okay, let me put this in a different context for you. They're the WWE of wrestling fans. And Cody sucks. No, Cody's awesome.
No.
Yeah. You can see Dave trying to find a workaround.
I'm just trying. Is Priest like the AEW of wrestling fans?
I don't. They're the ones that like. They're the ones that are okay. They're like Collingwood supporters. They're so diehard that they just can't see anything else. Even if you like them, you're still kind of embarrassed by it.
Yeah. Speaking of Collingwood supporters, Rory's dentist yesterday told us a great joke. Why was the toothbrush invented by a Collingwood supporter?
Okay.
Because it's called a toothbrush, not a teeth brush.
Oh my God. Rightio. We've heard it all before. You know that, right? You know we've heard it all before, Dave. Dave's late for the AFL party. And he's not a Collingwood supporter, while Tim and I are. There we go. Conrad says, I don't think it's fair to call either of these albums cheese. It's just it was considered cheese when they were, as this was considered cheese when they were released. I don't think we consider them cheese per se. It's just there's a cheese factor.
It's not Hammerfall. Right?
No, well that's true.
But I mean, it is impossible not to listen to Living After Midnight
and hear a bit of cheese
and enjoy it with a slight sense of irony.
Yeah, and I'm
cheese in the Maiden album though.
Yeah. Sorry, Connor's correct that they weren't when they were released. Yes, that's true. I agree they weren't. But there's just, as things go on, there is a bit of a creep of this sort of stuff as things go on. They get timestamped with the year they were out in. DB says next Megadeth versus Metallica. We've done that one to death as well. We'll find somebody.
You know what we should do? We should do we should do it in reverse and do like Risk versus Saint Anger.
Yeah, do the least popular ones. That'd be what is the worst album from these bands, and then go and find out which one's the worst of the worst. That would be a different way to go about it. That's not a bad idea.
We'll do that Megadeth acoustic album versus Metallica playing Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner.
The more obscure, the better. Bash has gone pretty still cheesy. Please explain. It's just that there's a cheese factor that comes into the
When we say cheese, we mean like again enjoy it with a slight sense of irony.
Yeah, it's
because like I said, Living After Midnight is a perfect example. Where it's when you listen to that with 2022 ears, you hear that big gated snare drum, and it's a very fizzy guitar tone that is very time-stamped. That's not to say it's not a great song, but it is time-stamped, and you still there's almost a little bit of a guilty pleasure vibe to it.
See, I don't have the guilty pleasure vibe. I still
it's not a guilty pleasure, but there's a little bit of a I'm enjoying this more than I should vibe.
It's if you know there's a little bit of a cringe vibe. If someone was new to it today, there'd be a bit of a cringe vibe to it. That
sucks to him.
Yeah, like if I would struggle to get my kids into Living After Midnight. You know, I know that they love a lot of the music that I listen to, but I reckon they'd struggle with Living After Midnight, even though I love the song. That's where that kind of creep of it all comes into mind. It's that generational shift that makes it a bit harder. Vinny says visually,
that's not to say it's not great.
Sorry?
That's not to say it's not great.
No, it's great. It is great, but there is just a generational shift that happens over time, and time moves on, and it leaves things in a particular place. It's like
I've been trying to get Orange to cover it for years.
You should, man. I reckon Tash should do it well.
Right?
I know. That would be good. Brendan, Brendan, we're going to gang up on Brendan in the chat after this, and just we'll apply some peer pressure for you, Tim.
Yeah, he's not the one to convince, unfortunately.
Is it Tash? Man, fuck. No. To have words with that girl. Alrighty. Vinny said, visually, I made it now with Eddie. Instantly recognizable, unmistakable. That's true as well. That logo was there. I wish for you that you eventually have a broad ear from dubstep to the Allmans to metal. Well, I have a broad ear, but dubstep's a bridge too far for me personally.
Yeah, can't handle that shit.
I think I'd probably surprise you.
Yeah, I think you've got more of a diverse range, but mine's probably more diverse than people think it is too. Like Tim and I were talking about a different black metal album the other day.
Well, because you got a classical background.
Yeah, that's it. But there's different, horses for courses.
My background was, like disco and Motown.
Yeah. Classical to dubstep is a big leap. It's a big leap.
Yeah,
For me-
I got friends who are into dubstep, and I wasn't a fan. I like it, there's that. Yeah,
It's challenging.
dance music's not really my thing, except for watching clips of Shaquille O'Neal in the pits. I just find hilarious. Because you can watch Shaquille O'Neal a DJ these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
DJ. As a surely one DJ we can appreciate. Not that I've got any idea what the fuck he's doing.
I don't know. I just see Skrillex and I'm like, oh wow, I don't even know what that was.
Well, I did like the song Cinema.
Yeah, I struggle.
But again, like the Cinema is one of those songs where I think if you break it down, it's just a good melody.
And but it's that, but it's also that part too where you've got to be in the right mind space to sit there and take it in. And if you're already sort of like the horse, sort of resisting the whole thing, it's really hard to get past unless you're in a really particular mood. It's fucking challenging, but it is what it is in that regard. I don't know. On to funny things. Back to you two versus Lizzie. Nicole says Thin Lizzie all the way. Darren Sutherland's favorite Priest album is Defenders of the Faith. So there we go. Nicole said, I'm 51 today and it will never change. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Hey, there we go.
Thanks for watching us on your birthday.
Yeah, I know. How's that?
Dedication.
I appreciate that a lot.
I do appreciate it.
I haven't changed in my 60s from Andrew, still getting out and discovering new bands, and that's the flip side. You may not have the world's even if you don't have diverse taste, you're still willing to explore new music. I'm down with that. When it came to Dave's joke, Keith says that joke in the bin, can the pie. So there we go. Conrad's gone, nor is it fair to compare Power Slave to Painkiller as they're both released several years apart. The whole idea of these battles is just a stupid idea that's a bit of fun. Black Sabbath also came out the same year in a month. What a time. Well, there you go. Fucking hell, what a month. April wasn't 80.
Plus, like if we were to do Fear of the Dark versus Painkiller, there'd be no comparison.
Oh, easily. Painkiller.
Yeah, that's a
it's a no contest. Ooh, random question from Vinny. Here's a tough one. Rick Allen of Def Leppard, was he better before or after his accident? Ooh, Tim, you're the drummer. Any thoughts?
It was better before, but he's more distinct after.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
That's my way of thinking as well.
Because obviously you can do things that you can't do when you've got two hands. But when you've got one hand, you're forced to think differently and forced to think about how you use noise and sounds in a musical way in order to portray what the band wants you to do. So it makes you think outside the box a little bit and do things in an unusual way. Well, the classic idea of this is Keith Moon playing without hi-hats. So it would make him do different things that people had never heard before because it made him play like, because he wouldn't rely on it. And that's basically what happened when he lost his arm. He had to think about playing the drums in a different way, and it made him sound like nobody else.
Yeah, I agree. Anything on top of that, Dave, or are you?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same way of thinking. The first thing that came to mind was the drum sound on Hysteria, but then the second thing is the intro to Rock of Ages. And then, so had a more normal drum sound and style in the earlier stuff, and then you got what he's known for now from Hysteria, which is probably the biggest album. But which one was he better at? Fuck, I honestly couldn't pick because there's good from like Pyromania versus Hysteria. Everyone's got their preference, but I'd probably say before because I think I prefer Pyromania to Hysteria in the long run. Yeah, so I'll go before.
I get it, but there's other albums later on too, like Slang and Sparkle Lounge. I don't know a lot of people aren't as big a fan of him, but I like his work on those albums, and that's when they're more stripped back too. It's not with the whole full kit going on. He's still able to play those songs and do a pretty good job. Like I I don't know if I can argue on the better or not kind of thing, but the respect I have for him and the band for sticking with him, that's next. Like, they took years, was it 12 months? I think it was 12, 18 months to get it all worked out and set up, and he had to relearn everything. The band stuck with him the entire time. Everyone put everything on hold to get him right.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is just fucking mind-blowing, especially with the pressure they were under at the time. So, I don't know if I can say better. I think distinct is a better way to put it, but I also just the amount of respect I have for him and the band is just fucking through the roof. Like I said, I love what they did on later albums, like that are a bit more laid back, and even the stuff that's more straight ahead these days than the earlier, more energetic stuff was. He's still swinging those grooves pretty nicely. So I'm going
to change my I'll go better now. Because when you see him live, he can still play the older songs.
Yeah.
You know, they're not exactly 100% like they were recorded, but they sound like the song.
Yeah.
And he does a great job. So, you know, he's not just relying on newer songs he recorded in his new style, one-handed. But, he can still play the old songs too. So, he managed to compromise enough.
Yeah. Fuck, not easy. It's the only one in history to do it. So, that says something.
Yeah, no, what he does is he uses his feet.
Yeah.
And he'll have the pedals linked to different things.
Mm.
And,
I certainly couldn't do it. I'd be stumped.
Shit.
Brilliant.
I knew, Vinny, I knew this was going to happen when he fucking brought this up. and it did. And he's going, sorry, I blame this delicious crack. And don't worry, it's all good. Yes, it's all good. Here's a challenging one: Demolition versus Virtual 11. So there we go.
Demolition.
Okay. DB's gone. Queensryche are superb. I never hear them on the show. Great heavy prog band. We have talked about them in the past. We will get to doing something more on them in the future, but that is just one of those things. We've done it a few times actually. Helen,
Operation Minecraft a few times.
Yeah, we have done that a few times. Hey Tim, I challenge and leave you with listening to Fanfare for the Common Man. Emerson, Lake and Palmer is the most amazing thing if you have not seen it. I know a fair amount of drummers who have not ever heard or seen this. I implore you to check it out. They are playing an outdoor stadium. Brilliant. So there you go. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Fanfare for the Common Man. Do you know that one, Tim? Or
Emerson, Lake, no, I don't know.
No.
You talking about like Earl Palmer, the drummer, or?
It's Emerson, Lake and Palmer, yes. So, but that was something to check out. I'm sure we'll all go and check that out. And there we go. She's also gone, listen to Dead Mouse, then Maria Callas, then El Colosso. I'll probably stick to El Colosso. Nicole's going, what the hell is dubstep? Don't worry, Nicole.
You know dubstep. Do you remember the old internet connection sound? Like that set to a metronome.
That, yes. That's a yes. That's definitely the case. Oh, here we go. Def Leppard, passion versus ability versus capability. We don't need to question. Yeah, well, he's got all three, so there we go. Rowan says after for the drumming trick on that one. TC says slang is awesome. Needs a review. I do like that album as well, mate. It's an underrated one. When it came to the stumps question, Dave's on fire from Darren, so there we go. What else do we got here? Tony says Nickelback or Creed. This will be good.
Nickelback.
Tim?
Great.
I'm going to go Nickelback.
Great.
So there we go.
What was I going to say? What's that song called? My Sacrifice. Much better than anything Nickelback ever made.
Oh, no.
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 I can barely remember that song.
No, that's a great song.
Creed did nothing for me.
I don't mind
Tremonti,
Creed.
man.
Tremonti's fucking great. I don't mind Creed, though. Alter Bridge are fucking brilliant, too. So, you know, there's
Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
Creed did nothing for me.
Here's a
Scott
tougher one.
Stapp really did bring down that group.
Yeah, it's funny that, hasn't it? Because his solo album was pretty ordinary, too. I didn't like his solo album either.
No.
That wasn't great. So it's an interesting one, that. Yeah, it's interesting how an individual. Yeah, it's funny that we should do like work. It'd be hard, but do something on like when the same lineup might with one member changed is better.
He's like the Pete. He's like the Pete Best of Pearl Jam singers. Like Pete Best, by the way, is that guy who quit the Beatles before Ringo.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad way to put it when you think about it, though. It's not bad. I'll pay you that. Here's a tough one. Rowan's gone early Queensryche versus early Dream Theater. Fuck.
So, Dream Theater.
I'm going to lean on Queensryche personally, but
hold up, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah.
Well, how early are we talking though?
Well, yeah, that's
Day and Dream Unite versus what, self-titled Queensryche?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But early each of those, like the first 3 albums from each of those bands, that's a more challenge.
Oh, fuck. Dream Theater easily. Day and Dream Unite, Images and Words Awake. Fucking great albums. Yeah.
Between like Images and Words and Awake, like Dream Theater.
Yeah. I go with Queensryche personally, just due to it's not as technical, and that I know it's technical, but there's a methodology to always had this problem with Dream Theater and its staccato approach. I've always struggled with it. So,
but I mean, this is why I'd say Dream Theater, because with those 3 albums, they're not at full wankery point yet.
I don't know. We'll work out something. It'll be interesting.
I mean, like I know Portnoy's a massive Queensryche fan.
Yeah.
I assume the rest of Dream Theater are as well. So, like, that's a fair comparison to make.
It is. It's an interesting one too. So,
and I mean, to be fair, Dream Theater would probably say Queensryche.
I don't feel so bad now.
The Dream Theater song "As I Am" is actually about the Queensryche guitarist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they toured together, and there was a bit of a rift between the bands.
Rightio. There you go. What do we got? Vinny picked Creed when it came to Creed versus Nickelback before. When Tim was describing what dubstep is, Nicole says, "Why the fuck would I listen to that?" So,
I don't know, man, because you can take a lot of drugs and.
Well, yeah, that's true. Michael says Creed. Vinny says I can't stand Tickle Nuts. So there we go. But when it came to that battle, Tony's gone. Neither is the correct answer.
This is true. This is correct.
There we go. Here we go. Michael says Alter Bridge's song Blackbird is high rotation on my Spotify. There we go. And Conrad has put a link to the fanfare for the Common Man on Emerson, Lake and Palmer in the Facebook comments there, Tim. So whenever you feel like going through that, thank you for that, Conrad. Appreciate it. Helen says, I love posing questions to give all of you the shits of your different musicality, and it's a challenge. Well, it's fun. Here we go, though. Back on the Queensryche versus Dream Theater. It's Queensryche. Debbie says, I love Dream Theater, but too clinical. I prefer Queensryche. Oh, man. Michael says Dragon Force versus Trivium. I'm probably going to pick Trivium.
Trivium.
I think that's unified. Helen says, I'm so happy that I've shit your nest. It's driving people nuts. Nah, you're all good. Don't worry about it. It's a great bit of fun for us. I love this sort of shit. Nicole's going, nope. And Man Family says, dubstep is what happens after a few drinks. No, that's the stump. All right, got a few reviews to get through. Let's get onto those ones before Tim has to get out of here, because we're going to do the 2 that Tim have got ready first, and then Dave and myself will bring us on home with the last couple of albums after that. So we'll start with Fangz, eh? How does that sound?
Cool.
All righty, so first review out of the 4 tonight is Fangz. There is a reference track in the comments in the description box now. It says Fangz with Falling is Pretty Normal, which happens to be the title of the EP we're going to discuss right now. So there's your reference track. Go and check it out. Fangz, Falling is Pretty Normal in the description box in the comments where we go and give our thoughts on this. So this is Fangz with Falling is Pretty Normal. 5 tracks, 15 minutes, the 3rd EP from the Sydney band, released February 2022 independently, produced by Stevie Knight. Pretty much all songs from this have been released as singles or videos, including the title track and Self-Medicate. this isn't a band we've covered a lot of on the show in the past, but it's one we've been aware of for a while. And when this came out, it was like, no, we should really spend some time and check this band out. Tim, Funny Feelings is more your wheelhouse than Dave's, so let's see how you went with it first.
All right, loved it. I've seen this band, I've seen this name kicking around for ages.
Yeah.
And they've got that really distinct logo as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whenever you see them on local gig posters, it stands out. So I've always remembered that for whatever reason, never crossed paths, never checked them out. So never had the chance to, and so good to get the chance to today, and I loved it.
Yeah, cool.
If I had to make a comparison to another band here, I'd say Angels and Airwaves.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yep.
But they do have that, 90s pop punk, but with a 2010 hard rock production.
Yeah, that's good.
The guitars sound spectacular, nice and thick. I thought the drums were gorgeous, particularly the hi-hats.
Yeah.
Melodies were great. I thought the songs were really well written. Each track on this became my standout track as I was listening to the EP.
Okay, cool.
I thought each track was better than the last, and yeah, from start to finish. Actually, again, playing shows this weekend all over Victoria.
Yep.
Frankston tomorrow night, Workers Club Saturday, Ballarat on Sunday. So if anyone's keen to check them out, check them out. Won't Be Me was my highlight, an 8 out of 10.
Nice. Cool. I think we'll cross over on the standout there as well. What about you, Dave? How'd you go?
I struggled a little bit with this. I think you were right in your prediction. It's more Tim's wheelhouse than mine. It took me a while to figure out what this was about. It's pretty good. The band's energetic, but I wasn't getting anything out of it personally. The singer's got a lot to say, but nothing was connecting with me at all. I could listen to it, but it wouldn't be the reason for me to get out of bed in the morning, whereas so many songs and albums could be.
Yep.
I figured out what the problem was eventually. It's me. I'm old. This is rock music with a modern sound, modern feel, modern production. It's aimed at a younger audience. It's young people music, not old fart music. It's done well. It's just because it's not to my taste, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it at all. Trying to look at it objectively, the great performances on here. The band certainly knows what they're doing. The lyrics are interesting. I've got to give it that. Falling is pretty normal. That was interesting lyrically. Each time I listened to this through, and I gave it a hell of a lot of spins, I was trying to figure it out. The midsection of I Don't Like Me, that always stood out. That little quieter moment, I thought that was really cool. I gave it 7 out of 10, and Prove Me Wrong was the standout.
Okay. And I'm going to be really interested to see, as the years go on, Dave, with you, as your kids get a bit older, how much that'll shift your ability to connect. Because for me, having older kids, I can connect, I think, a bit easier. So I think that bridge will get easier for you as the years go on. It's just sort of just come ahead then.
It's already getting harder. My kids like the video game Just Dance. And there was some fucking horrible shit on there.
No, but you know what'll happen though? Yeah. Eventually you'll go, my kids like it.
Yeah.
And therefore, because they like it, I like it.
Yeah. No, I can't do it happily.
I agree. Just Dance is a bridge too far.
Yeah.
But there'll be a poppier rock guy.
Yeah.
That you can go, okay, maybe I can get into this.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my kids to be teenagers, so when they're listening to their music with their friends, I can come in and drop some sick beats with them. I'll just embarrass them and like try and rhyme and shit.
I want you to walk in, right? The first time you say that, I want you to walk in filming it just like this. And
it's going to happen.
Send to me.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
When we go pick up Jade in high school in a couple of years, me and Julia are just going to wait out the front and make out. We can embarrass them any way possible.
That's awesome. That's cool. All right, just back onto the album for a second. It's fun, it's punchy, it's energetic, it's a good little release, this one. It's got more than a little bit of a twist of darkness to this one. So I found it kind of fitting that the clip I've shared tonight, if I'm correct, has Emmy Mac from Red Hook as a part of the video. And to me, that's kind of fitting because I think if you like Red Hook, you're going to enjoy this kind of a band as well. They're different bands, but there's something about the energy and the fun stuff along with that darker twist that they sort of they mesh well together as projects. Those two on the same bill will be a fun gig. It's got that sort of pop punk energy to it. The whole thing's pretty up tempo, but there's some great riffs and hooks in this one too. Like that "Won't Be Me" hook is still in my head now. Again, like everyone said, the lyrics are really good. That part of this release is probably the highlight element of this one for me as well. There are great points being made, great emotive expression on it as well. And it's more infectious than I first thought it would be. This style is a little bit more out of my usual comfort zone, but this is really well written and really well performed. It's a nice punchy mix. I love the sounds on this one. That goes with the attitude of the music really nicely. Some great use of space on this one. There's some really nicely balanced little staccato touches that are really well offset with the slower, more spacious elements, which probably references to what Dave was saying before as well. But along with like the different tones and the ear candy on this one, there's some subtle touches that are really welcome ear candy in this one as well. There's a bit more depth to it. It's not just a silly fun listen. There's a lot going on when you sit down with this with the headphones on in particular. These songs will stay with you. If you're a fan of this style of music at all, this will certainly appeal. But if it is not, I think that it could be something of a gateway release too. I think that if you're sort of flirting around the edges of this genre of music, this is one of those ones that might be enough to suck you in. It's modern, it's slick, but that suits the style. But there is still some really good grunt to this one as well. When they really push it, this moves. And for a 5-track EP, this flies by. No two songs are alike, and it all fits. You've got great emotive touches, but the balls on this is great too. And this flies by. The repeat spins, I've listened to this one quite a few times, and it's easy to listen to. It's so easy to take in. Each time I enjoyed it, again, not my normal thing, but I think that most people will find at least one track, which I think Dave can testify to this one too. I think at least everyone here will find one track they can resonate with in some way, shape, or form. So I think this is well worth checking out. The closing track, Won't Be Me, is worth the price of entry alone for me. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Won't Be Me, and also Prove Me Wrong was my other standout on this one as well. So it was a cool little EP. Well done to Fangz. And if you get a chance to go and see him live this weekend, then please do and let us know what you think of that show. Here we go. Back to the comments. Lee's gone, hearing Creed brings back memories of old celebrity deathmatch. Scott Stapp versus Eddie Vedder was awesome. That was a good one, my friend. That was a good one. The ELP video from Basher is saying, great video, drumming, keyboards, bass. Yes, there we go. Helen's going, look at him. He's looking at Carl Palmer, the bomb. Here we go. Michael says,
ELP. I do.
Yeah. I thought so. Yeah. Michael says, saw Fangz support Red Hook at Northcote Social. They're another great live band. So there we go. That's a good one.
That's a perfect lineup.
Yeah, perfect. Nicole says, I like this, but I think it was great after a while. I can understand that, but it's still pretty catchy. There we go. Playing in Frankston tomorrow night. Young guys are almost under 18. Doomsday Pilots, stunning and memorable. Thank you for sharing. If anyone's out that way, then please.
Yeah, Fangz in Frona.
Yep.
Belly bar.
Back to your kids there, Dave. Conrad, so get your kids the game Brutal Legend. So there you go. There's one for you.
Yeah.
I have Skyrim.
Oh, well, okay. Cool. Everyone's talking about the kids now. Nicole's gone, my son listens to gangster rap crap. I can't stand it. Yeah, I'm glad none of the kids listen to that personally.
That's why you have me to give it to you. That's why you have me to give it to you in torture albums.
Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, the torture album side of things. What else we got here? Got a few. Bell's gone. Love Fangz. Nothing particularly original, but definitely a fun listen and enjoyed it more each spin. Kind of takes me back to the early 2000s when I was listening to bands like The Used and Funeral for a Friend. That's a good.
The Used is a good comparison as well, actually.
Yeah, that's a good comp. I like that one. Nicely put, Bell. Good one there. Helen says, hey, Andrew, get your crew on their L so they can shovel you up after a giggle. It will serve you well. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Now, gig. Okay. Yes. The kids can, yes, they're good for that. Don't worry. We've got that part sorted out. Besides which, Jody usually drives more than I do. So I'm pretty well covered either way, to be fair. I don't do a lot of driving when it comes to going to a gig. So I'm pretty good. Vinny says, fun track, the type of song you want as a pick-me-up. And that's a good point as well. But the lyrics, just listen to the lyrics. There's a bit of a twist in there. Darren says, sounds a touch like Lit. Okay. Not something I'm, not something I'm.
The backing vocals, the use of the backing vocals throughout it was perfect too.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, the backing vocals were really good on this one. That was a good touch on this.
Yeah.
Nicole says, after the gangster rap, he gets blasted with Slayer as a payback. Very good choice. Very good choice. So there we go. Here's one for you, Dave, I reckon. But Conrad's asked, is anyone else going to see Lagerstein with Witchgrinder at the Northcote Social tomorrow? Yep. There we go.
I had COVID a couple of weeks ago, so I'm in the period of I don't give a fuck. So I haven't been for ages.
Tickets are available for that.
There was like 30 left yesterday.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I reckon it's going to sell out. But fuck, I'm so stoked to see Lagerstein.
What time do Witchgrinder play?
They play after Lagerstein. I think Lagerstein do 10 past 10 to 11 past 10, and then Witchgrinder 11:30 to 12:15.
I might be able to make that.
Oh, here we go. Tim's going to.
I might be able to make that.
All right.
Well, we'll playing first as well, and Derek Cricks.
We'll see what happens.
Well, we'll get the next review done, Tim, for you, so you can jump out of here, and then you can go and buy your tickets, and then hopefully you can meet Dave and Conrad in there tomorrow night. That's a cracking lineup, though. That really is.
No, Witchgrinder are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to be good.
There we go. Conrad saying, groovy, I'll say hello to you tomorrow, Dave. So there we go.
Yeah, man. Come find me. I'll be the guy in black.
Fucking hell.
Clothes, long hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to work out. Take the beanie, Dave. Helen says, so much on tomorrow night. Nuada at Bendigo Hotel. There's a heap of gigs on. Yes. Lee is saying just an hour to go for Rammstein. No, that's next week. It's the 29th. 29th. It's the end of the month. Unfortunately, Lee. I'm keen as fuck for it, but that's why I know it's the end of the month.
Yeah, it's a big weekend that next weekend.
That is. Next week's huge. I'm kind of glad that
So 1 hour for the apocalypse chicken writer.
Yes. There we go. And Nicole's gone, the guy in black holding a beer. So all right. Let's do the final review with Tim, and then we'll get him to put something in the bin and jump on out of here. And then Dave and I will bring it on home after that. But in the we'll go to our classic album now, as voted by our Patreon crew. So if you want to get involved in these choices, you know what to do. You got to sign up to our Patreon page. Details are in the description box. So get in there. Whatever tier you're on, you'll be able to get involved in this voting and get your choices heard. This is our weekly thing. We do a classic album as chosen by the Patreon crew every week. Today, it's one from Metallica. So in the reference track for the comments in the description box as well, you've got Metallica. Crash Course in Brain Surgery is the one I've chosen for you all to enjoy tonight while we go and talk about Metallica, the 598 EP Garage Days Revisited. 5 tracks, 25 minutes. This is the first EP from the American band, released August 1987 via Elektra Records. Arranged and not very produced by Metallica at 2 studios in California. This is an EP consisting of all covers and was released to celebrate the band performing at Monsters of Rock in 1987. The EP peaked number 28 in the US, number 27 in the UK, has been certified platinum in the US and gold in Finland. This was the band's first release with new bassist Jason Newsted after the death of Cliff Burton. And as I was saying, this is this week's Patreon choice review. So we do one of these every week. So you know what to do. Get involved in that front. But Dave, let's start with you.
Okay. Thinking back, by the time I was a diehard Metallica fan at the age of 12 in 1992, this was one of those releases that you knew about, but you could just not get your hands on. Mm-hmm. Unless you wanted to pay like $100 and have it imported and wait months and months for it to arrive. These days, it's a click of a button and it's so easily available. But these songs were kind of like, you know the titles, you just know. You never fucking heard them until you heard maybe Last Caress on Binge and Purge.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a fun little covers EP. 5 songs, quick listen, lots of fun. These songs are what bands jam on. They're just songs that the band obviously listened to growing up. And it's a good way to introduce Jason to the world. Cool guitar tone throughout, especially the clean tone at the start of Small Hours. I love that little haunting riff, and then that little drum roll that Lars does. That's such a cool fucking song.
Yeah.
These days, whenever The Wait comes on, all I can think about is School of Rock. You know?
Okay.
I've seen that movie way too many times, so images just kind of start flooding in. It's like, that's cool. The highlight for me has always been Last Caress. That song is just filled with controversial, lovely lyrics. I remember some people in high school being horrified when I played that song. Like, their like jaws drop and like, how can you? What is wrong with you? Just a song, nothing more, nothing less. It's used to get a reaction.
Yeah.
No, it's not a blueprint. It's not a true story. It's did exactly what it wanted to do. Got the reaction.
Especially from Misfits. Especially from the Misfits.
Exactly.
Mm.
You know, it's no secret I'm not a massive punk fan, but punk songs given the metal treatment, I always like. You know, heavier guitar tone, better performances, and that was fucking cool. But these days, to get this, it's pretty much on Garage Inc. So it kind of gets lost amongst the big, massive 2-disc set. But these initial songs on this was always just a cool little group of songs to listen to.
Yeah.
Give it 8 out of 10. Small Hours and Last Caress are my standouts.
Okay, cool. But you, Tim?
Yeah, I like this. I like it. I like hearing bands just like be themselves.
Yeah.
And just doing shit for the sake of doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like hearing, I like hearing demos. I like hearing things that aren't overly produced, because I think you get a more sense of what the band actually sounds like. And this sounds like friends having fun.
Yeah,
and it's infectious. The people, which is more or less what it is. It's a band getting to know each other and getting reacquainted with each other and to build up with a new lineup, getting ready for a new tour, and it makes it a very easy and a very fun listen. Because again, as Dave said, these are songs that they would have grown up listening to, and would have been influenced by at some point.
Yeah,
and a lot of them still get played today in the Metallica set. So it's a, like you said, back in the day, this was one of those things that you saw listed as part of the discography, but you could never find it. Even to this day, I don't think I've seen a physical copy of it.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
I've seen the reissue, Garage Days. What was it called?
Garage Days Revisited.
Revisited. It had all the demos for the Black Album on it.
Yeah, exactly. Finding the original 5-track, especially in Australia, But it's always fun to listen to when you can. So like I said, especially if you enjoy, the demos and the behind the scenes stuff, it feels like you get to know the band personally. Last Caress is by far the highlight. Just because the Misfits are great, and Danzig is great, and Hetfield knows good musicians when he sees them.
That's true.
It's an 8 out of 10.
8, yeah, cool. For me, it's a case of what's not to like. This is a great fucking EP, and for something that was almost sort of slapped together last minute, this has held up so fucking well. Like this still, I know it's been remastered, but fuck, it sounds great. And even if you go back to the original recordings, it's not a bad mix. It's for one of those things where it could have been an absolute train wreck. James has broken his fucking wrist in a skateboarding accident. They got a new member in the band. They'd started doing some demos and chill out, but then they've decided to put some covers out instead, and it just worked. It just clicked. I think that it's the enthusiasm, the raw energy, the enthusiasm. This just shines in that regard. It's just so infectious in how, like you said, it's just mates playing. And that's what's not to like about that. And you can tell the fun in the room would have been had at this point in time. Like you can just feel it. I thought the vibe was what's really, if you want to get really down into it, I think that the vibe on this is what's the most captivating thing. The songs are a bit loose. It's a little bit of fun, but that's the whole thing. It's like you're in the room with them, and capturing that on this little release is actually not easily done. They've done a very, very good job of presenting it in just the way it's been done. So I love the way this comes out even today. Every track is great. I think the performances are good enough on this. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. It's fun. That's all it is. And they show up. But that being said, they're not phoning it in. They're actually giving it everything they've got. It's just that it's fun more than let's make it, it's not a Ride the Lightning or a Master of Puppets kind of, that virtuoso level of context. It's just sort of like, they're just going for it and having some fun with it. They're still nailing their parts, but it's just more fun than focus kind of thing. It's funny that this is a longer EP. It's like nearly half an hour long for an EP, and it just flies by. And it's one of those ones too where, Dave, you and I have discussed this a lot in the past too. When you get a bunch of cover songs, maybe you go and check out the bands you're not sure of or haven't heard much of. And this EP does that. If you're not familiar with these bands, this will make you go and check those bands out for sure. Just for reference, you got Diamond Head, Holocaust, Killing Joke, Budgie, and Misfits on this one. But yeah, for me, The Small Hours is one of my all-time favorite cover songs. I love that one, the bit of menace that one has as well, and I just think it's really, really cool. Sort of up there with Am I Evil for me, as you know, some of the better covers from Metallica's catalog. But as far as a covers EP goes, this is pretty hard to go past. It's really well done, and probably the right thing for this band at the time that it came out. I think it was the right move. So you can spin this over and over again. It's that good. It's a classic. I think it's fantastic. And yeah, get onto it. 8.5 out of 10. The Small Hours for me, but also Last Caress. Green Hell. Like that whole thing is just fucking, yeah. That ending is great on this little EP. I thought it was very, very well done. So it's a whole lot of fun. It's very, very cool. We've got some comments here. We'll check those, and then we'll get Tim to give his bin. But what do we got here? Darren says, great budgie cover. Yes, it is. Helen says, not too sure I like the sound production of this record. It's a bit flat for my ear, but hey, it's subjective. It was the band doing it themselves in a renovated garage, basically.
Yeah.
So that explains a bit.
Lars' garage.
Yeah. Which Jason actually renovated using his construction experience. So there you go. Vinny said, speaking of School of Rock, has anyone seen Metal Lords on Netflix yet? Yet to see it, but it looks fun. Dave has. I haven't. Tim, I'm not sure about you.
I have seen it.
You have seen it. We are going to talk about this on a deep cut session, but just give us a quick, is it good or is it bad?
It's good. It's fun for a Friday night with a few beers.
Okay. Tim?
Okay, it is good to watch with friends to make fun of it.
Oh,
So it's a hate watch.
Well, let me put it this way, right? Whenever the protagonists and the antagonists clash, because I don't want to do any spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm expecting one of them to go, "You just got served."
Oh, wow.
Because because that's what it is. It's very it's like Bring It On, but with metal.
Oh, okay. Now I'm curious.
It's a very much American teen high school drama.
it could be a Nickelodeon production. It's all evenly lit. It's brightly colored.
It's very much that thing. And whether or not you like it or not is going to depend on your tolerance for that.
Okay.
Like I said, I there are parts that I enjoyed, but there are parts that I just found too cringeworthy.
Okay.
So I would suggest watching it with somebody who you can just openly make fun of it with.
Okay.
It's an odd visual presentation for the story they're telling.
Okay.
If you used to watch that show Angel back in the early 2000s, that has a more metal visual image than what this show has.
Okay.
But the story itself is engaging, and the characters are pretty good. And the fucking soundtrack is great.
And Dave loves it because there's no Winona Ryder.
Yes. Anything about Winona Ryder is good.
That's referencing previous. Now we'll all make sure we make a few notes on it, and then we'll do a deep cuts with that included, and then we'll do the whole spoilers alert. If you haven't watched it, don't listen to this one, but we're going to rip into it.
Easy to talk about that way.
Yeah. All right, we'll do it on a deep cut session. On to the Metallica one for a second. Conrad says I had this on vinyl. Fucking well done, man.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Have you still got it?
Yeah. Do you want it? Jack says it's well worth the watch. So good to see you here too, buddy. And he's gone also highly recommended. All right, cool. Got a few people talking about that one. Sally, this never fails to make me just go off. Increased heart rate, loud as fuck, can't sit still. I often find myself shouting, how can you not like this fucking band? It makes me very happy. Cannot put it on when I'm driving because shit happens and I have a driving certificate. That gives me far too much confidence. Fucking yay.
Fuck.
So there you go.
I've got this image of Sally cruising down the highway with the seconds fucking going, I got something to say.
Sideways down the highway. Sideways down the highway. Nice. Bill, she's got one of my first vinyl purchases. Nice. And even listening to it on Spotify, I still hear it on vinyl. And oh, Dave, you can even hear Lars micromanaging in this EP. Nice. Nice. All right. Ed Crusher on YouTube. Good to see you again. Classic release, one of their best. So there you go. Nicole says kill them all, but better. All right. That's an interesting. I can pay that to a point. Conrad says Metal Lords is awesome. Get some taste, Tim. And then
the cameos were really cool. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah. Rowan says,
wait a minute. We thought Metal Lords was awesome, but Living After Midnight was not cheesy. I think we have some cheese miscommunication.
When the cheese was created, 1980 versus 2022.
The vintage does matter.
All cheese is fucking
old
horrible.
and moldy. Cheese is old and moldy. Oh,
yeah, that's not to say they weren't. There were some bits that I thought were amusing, but yeah.
He's gone in reply. That is right. So there we go. Rowan says, I've noticed that whenever Tim begins a sentence with, let me put it this way, you need to prepare for devastation. So there we go. Tim has a tell. And then we go, Sally's gone, yeah, Lars, okay, turn it off now. So there we go. And she's also gone Midnight's cheese for sure. So there we go. All righty, we're getting a bit of cheese factored in tonight's episode. But Tim, I suppose that wraps you up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
That does. So what do you want to put in the bin tonight before we let you get on out of here?
Tech bros, just in general.
Okay.
But tech bros who think they've come up with a bright idea that has been around for a long, long time.
Okay, yep.
My favorite recent ones include imagine a online shopping catalog, but in real life, to describe a fucking shop.
They don't get the junk mail very often.
Imagine a boat made out of wood that can travel without the use of fossilized fuels, which would be a ship, a sailboat. And of course, my favorite from Elon Musk. I imagine a device that we put outside that turns carbon dioxide into oxygen. He invented a fucking tree. These people are not very bright.
Oh,
their heads are very far up their ass.
Wow. That's a good one. Fucking hell. I'll pay that.
Yeah, all these dudes straight in the bin.
Helen's just replied, fuck me. I thought I was losing my shit. So there we go. That's Helen. And Nicole's losing it over there on YouTube as well. So fuck.
I had an argument the other day. I was like, well, what if we were to invent some kind of a small light tram, like a light rail, but instead of, running on tracks, we put wheels on it so it can go on the road. It's like, what do you mean, like a fucking bus?
Yeah.
It's like, no, but it's like a light rail, but it runs not on the tracks. That's a bus, you dickhead.
Yeah. Oh wow! Oh my god! Oh, that's nuts.
I can't take it anymore. I
didn't catch that at all. Oh, here we go. Here's one for you. Helen's gone, I can run on rails. So oh, fuck. That's a good one. That is a very, very good bin, Tim. Thank you very much for that. That has enlightened me as to the tech culture. Tech bros, is that what you call them? Yeah.
Yeah, tech bros.
Tech bros. Elon Musk can stay out of Twitter. That'd be nice. Thank you. It's one of the few I actually enjoy.
He's not a very good person.
Yeah. Nicole's going, well, that's college education for you. Maybe not. Maybe us uneducated hicks.
No, that's South African diamond mine money.
Ah, yes. Well, that'll work too. There we go. Is there anything else you wanted to say out there, Tim?
No, well, yeah, Elon Musk's South African emerald mine. Yeah. All right.
Cheers, mate.
See you later.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too, guys.
See you, man.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got here? Helen says, when I was a kid, we had musk sticks, but they were lollies. So,
oh, there's a whole marketing thing there.
Yes, there were.
Musk stick.
Oh God, here we go. That could go very badly, very quickly. It's almost like priests handing out candy. What do we got here? So Rowan has said, people have been telling me that NFTs allow digital artists to make money for their art, and I keep having to tell them that you've been able to pay for artists for art since at least Da Vinci. Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's very true. We just need to make it more equitable across society and give the arts a bit more value. And then I don't think I have to worry about all this NFT stuff. I think it's a bit... I'm not into the space at all. I've got no idea what the fuck's going on, so I'm not going to comment on it, to be honest. Alrighty. Got a couple of reviews to go, Dave. Let's knock them out, eh?
Cool. Sweet.
All right. First up is Semblant. So in the description box, in the comments, we have Semblant with the video Enrage. So... that's what we've got there. So that's your reference track. So Semblant, Semblant with Enrage. That is your reference track. It's in the description box. It's in the comments now. Well, Dave and I are going to give our thoughts on the latest in this band. So this is Semblant with Vermilion Eclipse. 12 tracks, 60 minutes, the fourth studio album from the Brazilian band, released April 2022 via Frontiers Records. 2 singles have been released from this, in Purified and Enrage. This one comes about quickly after their 2020 album Obscura, because they weren't able to tour in support of it due to the pandemic. But with that said, they tried to make the best use of their time. So special thanks to the label for sending this in. This is a band that's released one album after another pretty quickly, and that's a good thing, I guess, or a good way to use your time. Let's put it that way. How'd you go with this, Dave? I'm glad we got you on board, because this is one of those ones that I think is more into your wheelhouse. Yeah.
I've never heard of this before. I got 20 seconds in. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. It's so good. I knew it was going to be good from the first 20 seconds, and for the whole album, it's like, yeah, I like this. You got guitars, you got keyboards, and you got a style somewhere in between thrash and power metal. Now, if you like your metal with lots of playing and lots of complex composition, from a band with a lot of high-level musicianship, then you're going to like this. In fact, if you like Epica, you'll probably really enjoy this.
Okay, cool.
2 singers, male and female, and they both handle the harsh and the clean vocals really well. And the band with a guitarist and the keyboard player, you're not only going to get lots of solos, you're going to get some great interplay between the 2 instruments. And the composition allows a lot of time and space for each, but also allows them to lock in together. Which there's some amazing moments of that. And there are moments where one instrument, or even a few drums or bass, guitar, keys, one or two will stop and let the other one shine, or just there's a solo section for anything. And then it makes it a lot more powerful when the whole band just kicks back in and just gives it a full onslaught. Great use of the keyboard melody and over the heavy riff at the start of the song, Somber Concern. As soon as that came up, just like, oh, that's fucking beautiful. You got like this heavy riff, and it's filling out the space with the key melody. Like, that's fucking great. And then the keys shut up, and it just lets the full band just pound it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. There's a song, Enrage, the first song, and there's multi-track male vocals on that, and there's a combination between his harsh and his clean. And I thought, I've liked that stuff ever since Use Your Illusion, where they multi-track Axl's vocals an octave apart. Yeah. And when I hear stuff like that, I thought, this is really cool production. And they do a lot of that through the whole album with the 2 different vocalists and lots of different styles. There are 2 songs that Black Sun Genesis and Bloody Monarch both have the subtitle Legacy in Blood.
Yeah.
On this album, we get parts 6 and 7. So obviously on previous albums, they've got 1 through 5. I haven't heard any of the previous parts, but I'm going to have to backtrack because those 2 songs are really cool.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a continuous story. I love when bands do that. Dream Theater did it, and Arian does it a lot. So it's cool to have a continuing theme.
Yeah.
And I thought, but it just went. There was another band that did it, and I can't remember what it was. That got. But yeah, once again, I got to point out the solo on Bloody Monarch. That was beautiful.
Cool.
If you're Shame Tim isn't here, I don't know if you heard it, but the drumming really just pounds it out. It's some amazing stuff. If you like the double bass drumming and blast keys and all types of stuff. I'm not much of I don't know shit about drumming, but I know a little bit. And yeah, it sounds cool. If for the guitarist, if you like the pinch harmonics, it's really cool use of that.
Yeah.
Nice shifts in the songs, great structure, great composition. There's a lot going on, but it's certainly not devoid of dynamics. Everything there is for dramatic storytelling, and they do it exceptionally well. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. Enrage, The Human Eclipse, Somber Concern, and Bloody Monarch are my standouts.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you were in for this one because it's one of those ones that you can feel be much more traditionally. If you follow us, you follow, and Dave's taste in music. This is definitely going to be one listen to.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, but we don't. But that's so we don't often review albums that have both male and female co-lead vocals. It's a bit of a rarity. I would actually like to hear more of it personally.
Yeah, me too.
So for that, aspect alone, it will get your attention pretty quickly. But the opening track, Enrage, it puts me in mind of Temptress a bit, like Aussie band Temptress for the intensity of it. There's a bit of a sort of softer chorus touch, and there's a hook kind of element to this stuff as well. It puts me a little bit in mind of Crystal Ignite or Bellicera as well. So if you like any of that sort of stuff, this will be something that'll appeal to you. Around that, though, you've got the male co-lead adding some real aggression, but on the flip side, the clean vocals, especially using the low register, really contrast wonderfully well. The whole vocal setup of this is done incredibly well. Around all that, you've got some blistering riffs, the drums, the lead work, all that sort of stuff you want from this kind of stuff. The synth element is really neatly done because it's not overpowering, but there's still a strong presence that adds to the drama of these songs. It's got a big, big sound wall to this one. It's a lot of punch and impact, but the amount of subtlety in this when you take it in properly is actually pretty surprising when you take it in fully. And there's also some really good groove on this one too. It goes hard, but it never loses melody completely either. This whole listen is big on impact and delivers that well without being too bludgeoning. You've got that sort of impact along with the beauty the whole way through. There's some good melody in here, great hooks, great harmonies. I think the harmony aspect on this one is probably, like what Dave was saying, it's really important to what they do with their sound. And I think it's one of the highlight elements of this one for me. The way the whole thing pushes and pulls for different things to come into focus, be it, the bass or the keys or a particular vocal part, it's really well done in composition and production both. Thought the track order was good on this one. Your first real softer touch on this was the third track, Purified. That's well worthy of your time alone. That's a song that could be a single from this album. That song also shows when they use space, they use it really, really well. There's a neat little mid-song change before the solo in that moment, in that song that I thought was really, really well done. Great work in the panning and the layering on this one as well. It's got a big sound, but there's those little touches that make all the difference and make it not a punishing listen for the hour. The Human Eclipse is the first time the male lead vocal jumps to really take front spot in a more melodic sense. And that actually kind of reminded me of Volvagun a little bit, that drama, that sort of almost semi-operatic kind of touch to it. So, yeah, if they're not direct comparisons, but if you like any of those bands or anything with symphonic metal in it with a bit more aggression or a bit of a darker touch, there's something you're going to be really, really enjoying. Like maybe a bit of Serenia might be another band to cross over with. I was also thinking a bit of Nightwish, to be honest, with the when you get into things like where Marco's doing Bye Bye Beautiful and that kind of stuff. Like
that's tough stuff. But I thought more towards the Epica style.
Yeah, it all works. So at least we're sort of in the same wavelength, and you know more about it than I do. So, Never Ending Fall. I thought that was a nice touch in the middle of the album. It's more of a mid-paced track, and while it's not a ballad or anything, it's a good little break in the middle of the album because it's more of just a mid-tempo song where either side of it you got sort of slow or fast. This one's that sort of mid-song. It's like it actually stands out being a mid-paced song because of the way the album's structured. It's a good circuit breaker. Heretic brings more aggressive stuff into play with an almost black metal vibe though. So this goes all over the joint. This has some pretty extreme stuff, especially on the vocals and the drums on that song in particular. I thought the lyrics were well done, the stories kept you engaged, and the closing epic track at like 9 minutes long was a really welcome addition. I thought that one really built nicely. It was a good fitting end to the album. And there's some good use of light and shade in that one. And for me in particular, there's a little bit of a hint of Deutschland from Rammstein in the piano work at the end of the song. Just the way it closed out. Listen to that song, Dave, then listen to Deutschland again and just see if you pick up what I'm putting down in how those sort of cross over. And just the use of the atmospheric use of piano. It's not direct notes or anything, but there's just that the vibe of it. It worked well. But I really did enjoy this one. I thought this was well done across the board. It grew on me more and more as I listened to it a few times. Slightly longer, but it doesn't feel like it. This one's a good one. So 8 out of 10 from me. Purified, Blood Red Monarch, and Destiny Incur. So it crossed over a bit, but got some different ones there as well. So another good album. All right. Let's see what we got in the comments here for this. Helen said, geez, when can we have drinks and lots? Yeah, there'll be a lot of that going around. We'll get together and do that. Nicole says, ooh, I like this. We'll listen to more tomorrow. Nice. Bill says, thanks for reviewing this one. Yes, one of the ones you wanted. These guys are awesome. Great songs, etc. But where they really stand is their vocals and in particular their unusual harmonies. I'm glad that Bell's picking up on that as well, not just us. Rowan says, I will check this out. Nice. Cool. And Helen says, the fear that I have with this band is that there's a battle between the theatre, vocals, and sound. There is a melody, and my reckoning is that there's a following, but it's exhausting to listen to. Do not dismiss their genre, but it's draining. This one, if you're not already into the style of music, it's probably not a good gateway record, I wouldn't say. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, for me, I was able to appreciate a lot. It's one of those ones where if you're able to focus and dig into it, it'll reward you. If it's too hard or it doesn't get your attention enough to make you want to do that, it's going to be a bit more of a challenge. But for me, the vocals, the harmony work, that kind of stuff for me was the part that got me really intrigued in this one, much like Bell did there, and it had the same effect on Dave as well. So we all gravitated toward that. If you can make that your entry point to this, then you might go okay. But so there you go, Helen. It's worth a look. I think the first sort of 3 or 4 tracks will tell you if you like it or not. Don't listen to the whole thing. If you don't like the first 3 or 4 tracks, you won't like it. But if you do like those ones, I reckon you'll like pretty much all of the album, aside from maybe 1 or 2 tracks. But yeah, it's a good one. Very, very solid album. Alrighty. 1 more to go, Dave. Nearly there. Cool. 1 more. And this one is the latest from Nazareth. Hang on. Sorry, quickly. Helen goes, I think it's technically brilliant, but it's intense. That is true. There is a bit of an impact on this one, too. It will be taxing for an hour, so just keep that in mind. Alrighty. But anyway, on to something that's a big gear change. This is the latest from Nazareth with Runaway. We did discuss the single previously, Strange Days, which, fuck, that's a good song. We'll get into that in a second. But right now, you got the reference track, what is it? Runaway from Nazareth. That is the reference track. It's in the description box. It's in the comments. So go and check it out. But for now, let's do the final review for the evening. This is Nazareth with Surviving the Law. 14 tracks, 48 minutes. The 25th studio album of the Scottish band, released April 2022 via Frontiers Records. Produced by Jan Rulia at a few different studios. 2 singles have been released in Strange Days and Runaway. This album comes as the band head into their 54th year. This album has the same lineup as their previous release, Tattooed on My Brain, in 2018. Another special thank you to the label for sending this one through to us as well. And yeah, I'll go on record as saying Strange Days, fuck, that is a song. But anyway, Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this since we did the Strange Days single a couple of weeks ago. I haven't heard anything from this band at all. I actually forgot they existed, and then they dropped that single. It's just like, fuck, where'd that come from? That is really good. And Nazareth have always been one of those bands that I've known most of my life, but it's mostly because they influence bands I listened to growing up.
Yeah.
And you see what bands influence you. You think Nazareth, you know maybe 1 or 2 songs. I don't know what they've done in the last 20 or 30 years, but this album certainly hits the fucking mark. No, this is the type of album you will expect from seasoned veterans. These guys obviously know what they're doing, can certainly play. They know how to write good songs. So you got all the tools in your toolbox, but they've certainly delivered. It's not just going through the motions, out making an album because some old guys got back together. They made a fucking great rock album, and they certainly do not sound anywhere near their age.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not even close. It's a
Yep.
great sounding album. The songs are excellent. The vocals are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The guitar tone has some real balls.
Mhm.
Waiting for the World to End. That is such a great hook. It's
Yeah.
obviously based on the last couple of years that everyone's gone through. And it's just
Mhm.
one of those songs you can relate to straight away. The hook is good enough, and it'll just stick with you. It's instant
Yeah.
classic. The only thing I thought the album might have been missing was a power ballad, but then I thought it was kind of cool they avoided that whole cliche of, third track in
Mm.
or midpoint they do something like that. I thought, yeah, that was cool.
I think
Closest they got to,
the last track might kind of tick that box, maybe a little bit.
yeah, the slower blueser one, yeah, that was coming up. But yeah, Sinner, you got that slight 2-minute track. I thought that was pretty cool, little rocker. But yeah, most of the songs are under 4 minutes, except for the closing track. As you mentioned, You Made Me, which compared to the rest of the song, it's a bit of an epic track at 5 minutes. It's got that nice, slow, organ-driven blues, which, it's what you would expect from a band from that era. And, it's kind of a contrast to what the rest of the album was like, but it's cool that they still dug into their roots and did something that it doesn't really change gear at all through the song. There's some those very subtle lead breaks towards the end and a little organ break as well. But I thought that was a very old school way of closing the album, and certainly like that. But 8.5 out of 10. Strange Days, You Got to Pass It Around, Mind Bomb, Waiting for the World to End, and You Made Me. Those standouts.
Cool. Yeah, like you, I haven't dug a lot into Nazareth. They're one of those bands that you know about, you hear about, and you go, fuck, I've got to go and check out more of that. But for the last decade plus, I've been a bit busy. So I haven't quite gotten onto that to-do list. But now after this album, it's like, shit, I want to hear from the diehards how much this settles in with their previous catalog. Because if their catalog is like this, then fuck, all right, I got a lot of, I've got 24 other albums to check out. This kicks off with what could well be one of my songs of the year with Strange Days. That is amazing. That song, I am not tired of it. I fucking can put that on. I think it's a toss-up right now. Song of the year is a toss-up between that and Call Me a Little Sunshine from Ghost. Those are my two. Ooh, boy, it's hard. But once you get past the opening track, this one, digs into the classic rock a whole lot more than you might think. You Got to Pass It Around is a really nice, solid rock vibing track to it. It's got plenty of weight, but it's just a bit more laid back. Sits in the back bit. Like Dave mentioned, that the song length on here makes it interesting. You got most of them around 3.5 minutes. There are a couple in the 2-minute bracket, but only one that goes over 5 minutes at the end of the album. As a result, there's 14 tracks in 48 minutes. I said before, 14 and 48. This moves, like this really moves quickly. It doesn't feel like that at all. You got some great blues and groove loaded tracks in here, like Better Leave It Out. There's some great vocals, awesome melodies. There's riffs in here for days too. But I think the rhythm section is fantastic on this record. I loved the swing in this. There's great use of space. That whole thing about knowing when not to play a note, when to leave that empty moment there. They've used that really well across this record. For an album that it starts off with a song that really gets your attention, then after that it doesn't sort of do that. But once you settle into this album and for the journey it takes you on, it's I don't know, something about it captivated me. It reminded me a little bit of Thunder. We talked about that album last year. It was a fucking fantastic one for me personally. This one really did take me back to that kind of a vibe where it's heavier than that, but it's a just pure classic rock with, modern tones, modern production, and just damn good songwriting. It's got everything you want from that style of music. I loved there's still a lot of punch in this. Like we talk about classic rock on it, but there's still a lot of punch in these songs. When this thing kicks into gear, it fucking goes. It's good. I love the mix on this one. There's some great use of hard panning. This has, again, all the classic elements you want about it. It's got some great left and right to it. The classic techniques with modern tones always works. There's a reason why those old school methods still work today, because they're fucking fantastic to listen to. Because the song structures and changes, the track order, it all works really nice. This thing, like I said before, it flies by, but those gear changes, the tempo moves or changes are really well positioned across the album. You've got a really complete journey when listening to this one, and it's once you settle in for that ride, like I was saying before, it just doesn't let you go. This one's stunning to me. I think there's great lyrics on this one. There's some fantastic hooks, but again, there's always that little bit of bite underneath it all. I think the songwriting is great. The way this thing builds across the whole listen is well done. It does not, like Dave said, it does not feel like a band that's in its 50s. Like there are members in this band that are in their 70s. This doesn't feel like that at all. Does not feel like that. I love the older guard throwing down the gauntlet. I'm enjoying the shit of it right now. They're putting out some fantastic albums. Saxon did it. There's a few this year and last year that have, just gone, accept or another one that has gone, nah, fuck yes, this is how we do it. And they just put it out there, and they're hard to beat right now. This one put me in mind a little bit too, like I mentioned Thunder before, but also how good Deep Purple have been in later years. Like that, those albums, the last 2 or 3 albums have been fucking fantastic, older, but they're great. It's a bit like that. It's a slightly older band, but it doesn't feel like that at all. Like the energy is still there, but it's just a band that's mature. Like I said, they know their shit inside out, and it just is so good. Like just that whole comparison, a band getting into its latter years and they're still just smoking it. It's a grower. We're taking the time. But the more I listen to this, the more I liked it. There's no dud tracks on this at all. And I think that from the stunning track to the close, this is just a brilliant album from top to bottom. I don't know why, but I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Could well be a 10 out of 10 by the end of the year. But for now, it's 9.5. Strange Days, Better Leave It Out, and Sinner were my standouts. But fuck, there's good tracks all over this. Like you mentioned, You Got to Pass Around's another one as well. But yeah, there's heaps on this one. There is heaps of good tracks. So this is one pretty much, if you're watching this show or listening to us, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't know what else I can add to that. Just listen to it and let us know what you think. It's fucking brilliant. Comments. Alrighty. So Vinny says, could be a band I need during my commute between Melbourne and Geelong. Need to put some time into Nazareth. Yeah, I think there'll be a few in this boat. Sally says, had a quick listen because I hadn't heard anything from them in years. It sounds good, not dated, and the vocals have it all happening. We'll have another shot at it, I think. Nice. Cool. Helen says there is a Melbourne band named Stone Trip, vocalist and guitarist. Recently won 2 awards for best vocalist and guitarist in the US. Guys in their 50s and write original, stunning. Yes, we have a lot of love for Stone Trip here. Their EP is fantastic as well. She also says, great 70s bands are a rare breed, and when they were good, they were exemplary. They still are. Nice. Basher says, haven't personally heard from Nazareth for a long time. Got their greatest hits on vinyl. I bought it in the 70s. I love it. Very positive review. Definitely give this a listen. So, yeah, I feel like there's a few of us here that are in the same boat, which is cool. That's what I love doing this, or one of the reasons why. We like finding new bands, but it's also you find those older bands that are a bit more niche. People go, I should listen to that. And then we actually go and do it. It's like, actually, we really, really should go and not just I'll get to it. It's like, actually, put this on the up the list a bit more. This is well worth your time. But yeah, that was a great one. I thought it was a good, diverse week this week. A good little set of albums there, Dave. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good one. I've really jumped from place to place.
That's what we like to do, isn't it? we don't tend to go in the same long. Yeah. But I think that wraps us up. It's getting on a bit in the evening. We're going to get out of here. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we sort of get to the traditional wrap-up, or are you getting free?
We covered everything. I think we're good.
You're good? You're freezing yet?
Yes.
Dave is outdoors, in case you can't tell people. So
got my slippers on.
All righty. Just quickly scroll the comments. Bell says Nazareth was a perfect gear change on the playlist after Semblant. Great album. I'm glad you enjoyed that one as well, Bell. And thank you for staying with us for the duration tonight. You've done well. Done very, very well. Alrighty, so on that note, we'll talk to our patrons quickly. So a big thank you to TC, Sonia, Lee, Bell, Conrad, Jason, Brendan, 16x9, Marty, Sam, Trash, Carolyn, Gwyneth, Andrew, Daniel, and the Mann family. Thank you all so much for your fantastic support via Patreon. If you would like to get involved and give us a chop out on that platform, then I'll put a link now. It's in the description box anyway, but I'll put a link in the comments now just to give us a bit of help there. Anything you can do helps us out. There's a lot of good stuff coming in there as often as we can manage to do it at the moment. Yeah, you get early access, you get exclusive access. You get updates as often as I can do. I try to do it daily. It's just been a bit of a dry spell lately. But if nothing else, you get to poll on things like our audience choice stuff as well. We should do every week. So there's a lot there to get involved in. So please do check it out. Have a crack. Have a look. All that sort of stuff. Talking about that sort of stuff, big thank you to our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Scrimping, Alt, Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details are in the description box as well. Find them, give them a like, a follow, a share. All that sort of stuff helps us out a lot as well. And while you're there, just check out our details too. They're in there, so all of our social platforms are there. Anything you can do, even if you don't want to support all the other stuff, just if you see a post, hit the like button, leave a comment, all that sort of stuff. Those things really do help us out. Just to keep the engagement up, and that's the best way you can help us, which doesn't cost anything at all to you. So that would be great for us as well. Not sure what we're doing next week, but there's a lot going on. So we are on TV like now on Channel 44 in Adelaide, but also Saturday night. This coming Saturday on Channel 31 in Melbourne, we'll be doing a audience choice episode. So by request is what it is coming up this Saturday night. And then next week is our 2-hour presentation, which goes into a marathon, which will be all to do with Taylor Hawkins. So that'll be a bit going on in that one there as well. But like I was saying, keep up to date with the socials to know what's going on with us from week in, week out. Or if you want more direct info, check out our Patreon stuff. But I think that's about it. That's the usual spiel done and dusted. I'll quickly scroll through some more comments here. Vinny says, final comment, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Oh man, I'm going to fight you on that one. What else have we got here? So, right, Basher says, yes, Andrew, I've rediscovered many old bands that I missed along the way, especially Judas Priest, Firepower, then Painkiller. Wow, nice. Right. Bell said, yes, it does. I'm assuming that's to do with Patreon. I'm thinking, pizza. Yes, pizza. So you're right. Pineapple on pizza. And Sally says wrong. So there we go. Yes, the great pineapple on pizza debate is kicking on there. So thank you, Dave, for keeping me on point, because fuck me. I'm scrolling through like 5 different things. So you have to bear with me if I don't quite keep up at times. It's just the joys of producing and hosting. Alrighty. I think if I'm correct, in about 10 minutes, Bell, that North Lane album might be out. So hopefully I've got my dates correct and they haven't changed it again, but they shifted it. So that's coming out very shortly, Bell. So that's probably on next week's episode, along with another classic album. And I dare say Dorothy will be in the mix next week as well. It'll be probably just votes on top of my head. I think next week will be a classic album, obviously. Then you've got North Lane, Kirk Hammett, and Dorothy, I think, would be what we're going to talk about next week on the show, apart from singles and all the rest of the stuff. But we'll see what happens between now and then. But I think that's about it. Yeah, Dave?
Yep, I think so.
All right, let's do a bin and get on out of here. So, Dave, what are you putting in the bin before we wrap it up?
If you're a parent, you will completely understand what I'm about to say. We don't talk about fucking Bruno. In the bin. Become the new Let It Go.
Oh, no. Wow.
Enough.
I'm glad mine aren't that young, mate.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Leo on YouTube to make a metal cover.
No. Oh. Ooh. Actually, we should find something from his catalog to go with the ScoMo stuff from earlier on today.
Yeah, that's probably a good one. Gangnam Style.
Yeah. Okay. We'll find something in there. All right. So for those wanting to reach out to us, we do get messages on different platforms. Make sure you email us. That email address is in the description box, but media@thehardrockshow.com. That is the best way to get a hold of us, because that's the one I pay attention to the most. My bin for tonight is pretty straightforward, actually. It's shit not working the way it's supposed to. So when you get a new program or up-to-date programming, it doesn't cross-work with backwards programming. So for reference, like you're going to see shortly, stick around after the credits, Dave. I reckon you'll get a kick out of this, because the credits have I'm doing this thing. I'm going to try to update the credits as often as I can and have the blooper from the TV that week that goes into it, just at the little end of the credits. A bit of fun, like we used to have we have it on the TV stuff. Trying to add it here. Now, where this is a problem is because different platforms have different codecs required and stuff for video content and all that sort of nonsense. So it gets challenging. Tonight, one of the reasons I was late for getting this thing started is because I was trying to get this all set up, but I had to convert one file, which meant taking it from one computer to another one. and just shit not cross-working properly at all, which is half the benefit of the Mac, to be honest. But it's nothing to do with that, because if the program I had to begin with would just export it as an MP4, it wouldn't be a problem. But apparently MP4 is too lowbrow for the software that I use, which just fucks me in the head. So that kind of shit that just, you know, just because you want to be the movie production software, which is what I've got, doesn't mean you have to be above doing the shit that everyone just generally needs to use as a given. So please don't just, you know, go above the bar into the all. I've got all the fucking bee's knees. I just want the stuff that actually does the job too. Like, that'd be nice. So don't overlook the little things. They're kind of important. So that kind of lack of assistance when you're trying to get shit done on a time frame, that can go in the bin. To fucking shoot that thing. I had to do it on one computer, send it to the other computer, convert it, then send it back. Fucking mess. Fucking painful. And yeah, not what I needed tonight. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Here we go. Helen's going, who is Bruno?
Don't ask. There's an animated show called Encanto where it's Disney singing all the so Bruno's someone they don't talk about, so there's a song we don't talk about Bruno.
Right.
Yeah,
See, now,
it's become the new Let It Go.
Jody watched the other day, but I had headphones on reviewing, so I didn't catch it, so that's all right. There we go. Sally says, in the bin with winter already. It's not even winter.
Yep, yet. I agree. Hibernate.
Beanie boy outside. What? Nicole says, male mums in the bin along with stitches and staples. Or melanomas. Sorry, not melanomas. That makes more sense. Melanoma. I was like, what? What are we on here? Melanoma in the bin along with stitches and staples. Get a skin check, peeps. It could save your life. Skin cancer in the bin. Wow. Hopefully you're keeping well over there, Nicole. Make sure you look after yourself, please, especially with you being up north. It's a bit sunnier up there. Alrighty. So Helen says, although I'm not Jewish, they have a beautiful saying, Andrew, your problems are golden problems. There's a humility. I have not been in a war. That's true. I always have perspective. I have never lost perspective, but it's just funny to put something pedantic in the bin every week where I can. Rowan says, shush, we don't talk about Bruno, so I think Rowan gets it as well there, Dave. But Dean says, the bin, the new fucking AFL rule, no waving arms at umpires, what the fuck? Oh, I'm going to disagree. I actually don't mind it. I think that it's past time that players are told to pull their head in with the way they treat umpires, because it does trickle down into the local leagues and makes it much harder to recruit umpires. And without umpires, you've got no game. So there you go. Vinny's gone, male mums need to go straight to the dictionary. So there we go. All right. That is one for spell checking on the bin as well. Hey, spell checking in the bin.
I'm just thinking of that Family Guy episode where Peter Griffin breastfed Stewie, and Stewie realised,
oh, wow. I haven't thought of that in a long, long time.
Shit that pops in my mind.
We know. Make sure you're not stumped, though, eh, Dave? No. You still got a pre-recorded gag from last week. That was gold, man. That was incredible.
Oh, fuck. It was fitting.
No, it was good. That was well done, man. Well done. All right, Helen here has gone, excellent. Good boys. Good night, boys. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you, one and all. And Vinny's gone, laugh my fucking ass off. Love Stewie. So, yes, there we go. Lois, Mum, Mama. What?
Hi.
Oh, well.
The life is, you're only making it worse.
Yeah, fuck. Helen's gone, I've missed you, idiots. Don't worry, we've missed you as well. It's good to have you back. Thank you for joining us. All righty, but we are going to get out of here. So I'm going to move over to the brand section here so I can go to the new closing credits. But we'll see you all again very, very soon. The next stream is on Wednesday night next week if everything goes to plan. But again, keep up to date on social to just sort of make sure you don't miss a thing. But otherwise, all this will be clipped and cut and released and stuff. So you won't miss anything anyway. Just keep following us and stay up to date. But until next time, thank you to Tim for joining us. We'll see you all again soon. Until then, though, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
As always,
drink up
and rock on. She
Nikki,
sent it.
I reckon you'd like this. If
Yeah.
you want to see the best pop song for the year, go and Google the brand new song by New Kids on the Block, and it's got Rick Astley in it, Enrage, and Salt and Pepper. The video clip is phenomenal. They take the piss out of all the classic 80s videos. Absolutely unbelievable. And the song's really catchy as fuck. It's a great song.
I admit to having Envogue CDs. I have NSYNC CDs. Oh, you've seen the fucking rack.
Go and watch this video. Go and check this video out. Because they take
I had all sorts of New Kids on the Block when I was a kid.
Well, they take the piss out of classic 80s videos. They take the
Tell
piss out
me they do a bit of... Oh, shit.
That is the best one yet.
There's one for the extras.
That is the best one yet. Wow.
That has to get a run somewhere.
That's getting in. That is the best one yet.
That was flying.
Fucking break.